mom know about this?
Who?
PlayStation.
The love for PlayStation and its history runs deep within my veins. I was there for the very first era of PlayStation and have seen every iteration since. Along the way, there have been many games that have shaped the kind of gamer I am today and has fostered a love for the types of experiences found in the PlayStation ecosystem. Just to name a few: Ape Escape, Gran Turismo, Ratchet Clank, Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter. That's only scratching the surface. And there are many you are probably shouting out at the screen right now. Since the inception of the new PS Plus premium tier back in June of 2022, we've had many of our favorite retro PlayStation games return with a new version fit for modern hardware. And with that, the majority of them have been outfitted with trophy support, with holdouts getting patched after the fact as we speak. I have covered quite a few in the series I created for this channel called Platinum Hunters, and a small handful of those episodes will be featured in this video. But now that we have moved on into the Platinum Experience era, it's time to explore these games on a grander scale. It's time to check out the Platinum Experience for 15 classic games that you can buy on PSN right now or download if you have PS Plus Premium. We will be covering every trophy found in all 15 of these games across 3 eras of PlayStation. Depending on the age of you, the viewer, you might remember playing some of these back in the day, or you might be finding a brand new game to go to and check out. And seeing as this is a trophy hunting channel, you will be well equipped for the hunt after checking out what you need to do for each game's Platinum Trophy. We will start with some classic PS1 games, but before we jump into our first one, make sure you subscribe to the Platinum Experience for more videos like this. This is the longest video I have ever made on the channel, so I hope you enjoy it and it was worth the wait. And let me know if you end up enjoying it with a like or a comment. I read and respond to every comment, so if you want to, let's talk shop when it comes to retro PlayStation. But here we go. This is the Platinum Experience for 15 PlayStation Classic games. Jumping Flash, a game from the early PS1 era that never crossed my path until now. And man, out of all the PS1 games I played for this list, I really enjoyed the crap out of this game. For those who don't know, this is one of the very first early 3D platformers. It's misattributed as the first, which is actually a PC game called Alpha Waves. Okay, cool. But I can see why this game gets the credit. It's fantastic. Cruising through the levels as this big rabbit-shaped mech machine is super great, once you get the hang of the controls, of course. So let's dive in and see if the Platinum run is just as good. One thing to mention is that while Jumping Flash was added to the PS Plus Premium service at the very beginning, it didn't get trophy support until much later when it retroactively was added. This was a bad thing at the time, but now it might have been serendipitous, because Jumping Flash escapes the early half-assed lists and delivers one of the best Platinum runs in the entire video. This list of only 14 trophies actually pretty thoroughly explores most of what the game has to offer, with a good mix of boss trophies, other environmental trophies, and a few neat challenges, and 100% completion of the game. This is what I want every trophy list to look like, but enough waxing poetic, let's break down the list trophy by trophy. The main objective and the trophy you're working towards is the Aloha trophy for collecting all jet pods and then defeating the game's main baddie, Baron Aloha. The jet pods are scattered inside each platforming level, and you'll need to find them all to exit the level, so it's more of an automatic story trophy for finishing the game. As we cruise through the worlds with applicable trophies, you'll get a better sense of how this weird 3D platformer mechanically works. Pro tip: the more jet pods you collect, the higher you can boost with your hover jump. Need to get to higher elevations? Get more jet pods! Okay, we'll start in World 1 and start picking at these trophies. Aside from the one trophy that specifically asks you to do it in World 1 too, you can actually get these trophies in any level, but here's the earliest you can get them. Trophies like airtime, for boosting on top of enemies at least 5 times before you touch the ground. Using your jump boost, you plop yourself on top of people's heads plumber style. And the trophy doesn't say it has to be 5 enemies, so you can jump on the same enemy and get it that way. Just jump on them a few times to get the count up. Another one that you might get unintentionally, maybe, is falling with style. You need at least 6 seconds of airtime with one jump, so get up to the highest platform in the level, jump boost up as high as you can, and float down to the ground, and you'll get the trophy during the fall down. In each world, one of the levels has a bonus stage that you can play to collect more points, and usually an extra life. Oh yes, I remember having extra lives. It's a rarity these days. It's so quaint. But yeah, the bonus stage for World 1 happens to be in the first level, and you can get the Bonanza bonus trophy when you enter and find your first bonus stage. For the trophy, you don't even have to be successfully completing it. But there is another trophy called No Balloon Was Safe, where now you have to find every one of the 6 bonus stages and successfully complete them. So that means shooting all of the balloons found in them. It's way easier to complete these if you have the homing firecracker power-up thingy, as they will seek them out. The bonus levels are pretty small, but it's imperative you know where all the balloons are because the time limit can be pretty short. The bonus level is always in the first level in each world, so take a good look around in the level to find the bonus stage and then complete it. If you're having trouble, there's a guide in the description to help you out. I've said it a billion times already in this video, but use the rewind feature if you need help. It's easy to do, just use it when you mess up. Since I mentioned lives already, there's also a trophy for collecting 9 lives called More Cat Than Rabbit. Doing the bonus stages is the best way to collect some extra lives, and they are also scattered about the levels too, but the bonus stages got me to 9 faster. Just do it that way. Okay, here's a fun challenge. Complete any stage without firing any projectiles to get the Safety's Always On trophy. This means no power-ups, and you can't use your blasters. The first level is a small one where you can find the exit very easily, but you can do this on almost any stage really. You can even finish the level just by jumping on top of enemies, so it's a nice little challenge that is pretty doable and gets you a trophy. Now, here is the trophy that I said has to be done in level 1-2. It's very easy and it's called Don't Rust. What you have to do is sit inside of one of the hot springs for about 10 seconds, chilling out and getting some relaxation. And then the trophy pops. Very simple. That's easy. None of these trophies were ever really stressful, really. Certainly not this one, but it came together as a great trophy run anyways. And this next trophy continues those sentiments. Our last trophy we can get before we explore World 2 is called the Can't Hop, Won't Hop trophy, where we head into World 1-3, where we fight a boss and must defeat him without using the jump button. You can do this on any of the 6 bosses, so choose one if you like, but some of the other ones are going to be a lot tougher to beat with this restriction. The first boss is a giant dragon, and when he is on the ground, you can go open season on him with your blasters. Safety is off this time. You really can beat him without jumping, and against this red dragon-ass Transmetal 2 Megatron looking bum, you can get this trophy very easily. Now we can move on to some trophies in World 2, and we'll start with the Doom Rooms trophy in World 2. Most of the levels are these spherical, vertical playgrounds with floating platforms for you to reach, but not this one. No, some of them will have a linear pathway style level that actually is kind of like Doom. Really, the trophy is pretty on the nose. For the trophy to pop, you'll need to find all of World 2's hidden passageways, in which there are 3. When I ran through the level the first time, I found 2 of them, and the one I missed made me feel a bit silly that I missed it. The guide's below if you need help. Now, when we get to the World 2 boss, we're going to do the opposite of what we did before to get the Stomping Flash trophy. Now we need to beat the boss without firing any projectiles, so we're going to hop on the boss to take it out. And this fight with the Scorpion is a good one to do it on. Again, you can challenge yourself and get it on any of the bosses, but getting this trophy is a lot easier here in this World 2-3 boss fight. Okay, so now we're going to warp all the way to World 6 for these last little bit of trophies. We are on the Platinum Highway now, and we're about to get a shiny new plat. You might even get this next trophy before you reach World 6, but it depends on how many points you have. The Million Hair trophy was awarded to me once I earned a 7-digit score and reached 1 million points. Don't panic. It's not in a single level, it's across your whole playthrough of the game. You can just jump into a level and grind out the rest of the points if you're short of the mark when you hit the credits. I just grabbed the rest of the points in World 6-1, where there are lots of enemies to stomp and plenty of points to pick up here. It's easy to do and you might even get it naturally. Then when we get to our second last boss and second last trophy called I'll Face Myself, we're going to meet Dark Rabbit, your evil doppelganger rabbit mech. Without using rewind, he's actually a pretty tough fight, but the trophy is not related to him per se. It involves his little minions that come after you, and the trophy wants you to bounce on Dark Rabbit's bunny companions 15 times. They will keep entering the battle periodically, and you will have the chance to hop on them and collect the 15 you need for the trophy pop. And then, after you have defeated Dark Rabbit and gotten that trophy, there is one more challenge and one more trophy that awaits you. Now we will hop into the final boss fight against Baron Aloha, and on top of putting an end to him and that awful shirt he's wearing, we have to secure the Bounce on the Baron trophy for defeating Baron Aloha without firing any special weapons. No power-ups, but you can still use your standard weapons, and jumping works. Trouble is finding the opportunity to line up the shots and hit him, because he leaps into the air a lot during the fight. The best way to beat him is to get above him and jump and shoot. Jump and shoot, man! Rabbit, I guess. Stay above him as much as you can, and remember not to use your special weapons. You just need to use your blasters and your feet. And that's the excellent platinum run for Jumping Flash. It's absolutely amazing to have the opportunity to come back to this game that came out in 1995 when I was 4 and enjoy it almost 30 years later. The trophy selection, while small, is perfect for this game, and with that said, if you've collected every jet pod, racked up 1 million points, beat a bunch of bosses with either your blaster or your rabbit feet, retired Baron Aloha's god awful shirt, like, damn, that shirt is loud, bro. I can't hear anything over the sound of that shirt. And collected all the trophies? Congratulations! You will be awarded the perfect Rabbiteer Platinum Trophy for Jumping Flash. That's Platinum number 1 of 20 in this video. We still got 19 more to go. Overall, all I can say is, where are Jumping Flash 2 and 3? Are they as good as this game? Despite it being one of the very first PlayStation games you could buy, I think this game is still hella fun. And the trophy run is incredibly thought out and almost makes up for the fact that it was patched in later. There are many more games we have to get to in this video, but I can confidently say Jumping Flash has one of the best platinum runs out of all the games I'm going to cover. If you can excuse the controls and adjust to them, you will definitely love this game.
Get you.
Très bien.
Get you.
Punch, très bien. Punch.
Next, we will look at one of the original 5 games that was released the day that PS Plus split off into its 3-tiered system on June 13th, 2022. Ape Escape was one of the first 5 PS1 classics that were released, or at least ones with trophies, because there are a bunch of other games released like Tekken 2, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, Mr. Driller, and more, but those games didn't get trophy support. Hopefully they do the right thing and give those games trophy support retroactively, but I'm not holding my breath. But let's spotlight this very important classic game that was the first to make use of the now iconic DualShock controller, Ape Escape. This trophy run is definitely one of the easiest we have seen on Platinum Hunters so far, and it reminds me a lot of the trophy run for Spyro 3. Why? Because for this Ape Escape plat, you essentially just have to play the game until you beat the last boss, play a few mini games, and collect only half of the things you need to collect. You don't have to capture all the monkeys, you don't need all the Spectre coins, and you will get all the gadgets as you complete the level goals. It is very easy and will definitely sit at the bottom of the cakewalk category when we do our next difficulty tier list video. There's only 16 trophies for the plat, so this video isn't even going to take that long to cover all of it. Monkeys are out here running rampant, so let's get this simian and trophy hunt started with some monkey catching trophies. Hop into the first level called Fossil Field and collect your first trophy of the hunt, called Rookie Catcher, for capturing your first monkey. You got your stunt club and your trusty time net, so now it's time to either sneak up on these monkeys or bum rush them to net them up. One thing you need to know about this game is that it has a very weird control scheme where R1 is jump, the face buttons switch your gadgets, and you perform actions with the right analog stick. Ape Escape was the very first game on the PS1 that absolutely required you to use a DualShock controller, which did not come with the original PlayStation bundles. The original controller didn't even have analog sticks at all. That's craziness. But let's get back to the hunt. Your next trophy, called Established Catcher, will be yours after you net 50 monkeys. If you're just aiming for the capture goals and not collecting any of the extra monkeys in the level, you'll collect this trophy while playing the Frosty Retreat level, a cold and icy barren wasteland of a level. Ultimately, you're gonna have to keep time traveling and catching these Pippo monkeys until you get the Pro Catcher trophy for capping 100 monkeys. If you have played this game before, you know that 100 monkeys are less than half the amount that you can find in this game. Heck, you'll capture 100 monkeys even before you get to the awesome and massive Specterland level, which is right before the final boss. The first Ape Escape game has a total of 204 apes to capture before you finally put an end to Spectre shenanigans, so I encourage you to keep playing to the very end and challenge Spectre one last time. But when it comes to this trophy run, 100 is enough monkeys for the platinum run. The next lot of trophies are all unmissable, but I thought I'd mention them because they relate to all the cool gadgets that Spike collects and uses to get the job done. On screen now are all of the gadget trophies you will collect and the different levels in the game where you acquire them. Right before you get to the listed level, you will take a trip to the gadget training room to test out all the new features of these new gadgets. These gadgets will be needed for the level ahead of you, and more sections where these gadgets are mandatory will start to appear. Some gadgets like the water net and sky flyer are downright necessary for catching certain monkeys. Even in the very first level, there is a cheeky monkey up high on that cliff that I can't get to until I get the Sky Flyers. So these gadgets are much needed if you want to collect all 204 of the monkeys. The very last gadget you will get is the Magic Punch, which you can only acquire after you defeat Spectre the first time. So you will need to finish the game to get the last gadget trophy. This thing really packs a wall up on the monkeys, having more range than the Stun Club. Plus it will get you into some secret areas where monkeys are hiding. It's definitely worth grabbing this gadget, but you can capture enough monkeys for the trophies without it. You just need it for this trophy. Collecting these Spectre coins is the same situation as the monkeys in that you don't need to collect all of them to get all of the trophies here. In the first level, you'll find your first Spectre coin and get the Penny Pincher trophy awarded to you for finding your first one. Every level has at least one coin to collect, and many levels even have 2, 3, or 4 hidden in various places. You'll get the Moving On Up trophy after you collect 20 Spectre coins, in which if you're collecting all the coins as you go, you can get the trophy inside, literally inside of the Dexter's Island level. Open up, boy, I'm going in. This is my absolute favorite level in the game, as you look for monkeys and coins inside of a freaking dinosaur. Do you see why I love this game so much? The last coin trophy is Money Bags for collecting 40 of the 60 total Spectre coins, which the earliest you can get this trophy is inside of the Crumbling Castle level. As opposed to the monkeys, which I encourage you to catch them all, you can safely stop here if you like, as the Spectre coins are tied to some unlockables that will be our final 3 trophies for the Platinum run of this PS1 classic game. So inside the Time Station, which is your main hub world, there is a room where you can play 3 minigames that are pretty damn fun. In order to unlock them, you need the thing we just talked about, which is the Spectre coins. So for our last 3 trophies for the Platinum run, you'll have to simply play each minigame to get each trophy. Our first minigame trophy is called Frosty Monkey, and it's unlocked by playing Ski Kids Racing. You'll need 10 Spectre coins to unlock it, and it's honestly so much fun. They didn't have to go this hard with the quality of these minigames, but they did. You can play as 5 different skiers and have them race down a pretty challenging ski route to the bottom. Then the second trophy is called Warrior Monkey, and it's tied to unlocking and playing Spectre Boxing after you collect 20 Spectre coins. This is another fun minigame, but damn is it hard and turned my fingers to absolute mush. You use both analog sticks to punch and block, and you'll keep fighting your way up the ladder through 5 consecutive fights to become the boxing champion. Then our last minigame trophy and last trophy of the guide is called Space Monkey for unlocking and playing Galaxy Monkey. This is my least favorite of the bunch, and it's essentially a twin stick shooter in the vein of Asteroids, but much faster. It's cool, but I like the first 2 much better. You unlock this minigame by collecting 40 Spectre coins, so the Moneybags trophy ties in nicely with this trophy. And that's it for the Ape Escape Platinum run, but again I encourage you to collect all the apes, play the final fight with Spectre, and if you're invested after that, try to go for completion. This game could have been much harder if they did that and made you do the monkey time trials, which would have bumped this Platinum trophy difficulty up. Kinda like in Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, how they didn't make you do the Master Thief sprints. Similar to that situation. This Platinum run only wants you to complete the game and collect about half of everything you need. I ragged on Spyro 3 for doing that, but honestly it's a freaking miracle there are trophies for this game at all, so I'm letting it off the hook. So if you've collected lots of new gadgets and played some awesome minigames, traveled to lots of interesting time periods, collected about half the monkeys, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You will be awarded the No One Can Escape Platinum Trophy for Ape Escape. Overall, this trophy run is a absolute cakewalk in every sense of the word. But a chance to add a platinum trophy for a PS1 game is so damn tantalizing, especially if it's this game. If the plat for one of my favorite games of all time is an easy one where I only need to crit path the story and collect half the things, so be it. As I said before, it's a miracle that there are trophies for this game at all, short of the game getting a remake at this point. Now Sony, if you want to do something with the series, anything at all, I wouldn't be opposed to that, eh? Hey Sony, come on, do it! Give this series to Team Asobi, they know exactly what to do with it. I guess this is a start, and Sony will see how many people love this game. If you haven't played the game yet, I absolutely recommend you check it out. You'll only need to play half of the game, but keep exploring it to the very end and stop Spectre's plan.
Nice cock.
Hot Shots Golf is another one of those fabulous 5 at the launch of PS Plus Premium. Now, I am more familiar with Hot Shots Golf 2, but this game was no slouch at all. It's the only game in the series that was not made by the series shepherd Clap Hands, and ironically enough, developed by the notable Mario Golf dev Camelot. It's awesome that even after all these years I could enjoy this game, which feels a little out of place with the rest of the Hot Shot series, but it's still a good one. And the trophy run they went with is pretty good, minus some RNG shenanigans. Similar to the Ape Escape trophy list, there are not too many trophies to grab, with this list giving out 17 trophies, not including the plat. There are a bunch of trophies for collecting all of the unlockable golfers, then there are some for the unlockable golf courses, and the rest are dedicated to sinking shots like a birdie, an eagle, albatross, and of course the coveted hole-in-one. All of these trophies can be unlocked at the same time as you go one-on-one against the other golfers. If Sony didn't give us the rewind feature for these PS classics, this platinum trophy would be more difficult to collect, as some of the golfers you tee up against play some peak performance Tiger Woods level games. But with the rewind feature, if you mess up a shot, you can just rewind and try it again. It sucks some of the challenge out of the platinum run, but there is still a little bit left. There are some tough trophies to get even with the rewind, and I'll be giving you some ace strategies to help you deal with those. Once you stretch, get acclimatized, and familiarize yourself with how to play the game, your main objective is to defeat and unlock all the golfers in the game, where golfers will give you a trophy for beating them. On screen now are those said trophies, and there are 8 of them in total. The way you can face off and unlock these new golfers is by going into play mode, clicking on versus mode, and setting it to 2P or 2 players, and then clicking the controller button. When you first pick your character, you will have only 2 available to you, and that's Mary and Taku. Everyone else is shadowed out. But when you select the CPU's golfer, Yuki will be available to choose. So pick your golfer and Yuki as the CPU, and then you have to beat her out on the greens to unlock her. After you beat and unlock her, the next time you go to select a CPU, the next golfer, Sam, will be available to face. I don't know why, but when Sam does his victory animation, I get a Donkey Kong or Diddy Kong kind of vibe from him. Like I'm expecting a kind of noise. Or a Each match is an 18-hole battle where if you finish a round with a lower score than your opponent, you will get 1 point. Remember that in golf, a lower score means you are winning. If you both get the same score, like for example if you both shoot for par, it becomes a draw and no one gets a point for that round. So you're going to want to keep scoring better than your opponent in each round to beat them. If you collect enough wins, you'll eventually lock out your opponent from winning the game and the match will be over. So theoretically, the least amount of rounds you'll have to play per opponent is 10, where you can get 10 wins in a row or 9 wins and a draw to seal the deal. For the beginning bunch of opponents, I didn't really have to worry too much as I watched the AI sabotage themselves. shots that landed in the bunker, drives that ricocheted off trees, lobs that had the ball swimming with the fishes, and putts so off the mark that even I could do better than that in real life. The game is essentially throwing you a bone here. When you get to the last 3 golfers, Daryl, Raoul, and Iceman, the challenge had me mashing that rewind button like crazy. Iceman is a good name for this cool as a cucumber golfer cause this guy was clapping cheeks on the drives. This guy was turning par 5 greens into 2 to 3 shot affairs. Again, if there was no rewind feature, you would have to be exceptional at this game to go toe to toe with this final boss right here. But using the rewind feature, you make sure you stay ahead of Raoul and Iceman or at least collect a draw. They will occasionally mess up some of their shots and that's when you can capitalize on their mistakes and pull out the win. Ultimately, when you defeat Iceman, you will collect the last unlockable golfer trophy and you will get almost half the trophies you need for the plat already. 4 of the other half of these trophies will come from unlocking these extra golf courses, in which here are the trophies on screen now. All 4 of these extra courses are unlocked just by playing the game and gaining XP points. When you hit the point threshold to level up, you'll unlock the stage to play on while you unlock the other golfers. Now, after I defeated Iceman, I only unlocked 2 of the 4. So I had to play extra matches to gain more XP and collect the remaining 2. It is a tad bit grindy to get these stages, but nowhere near as bad as some of the grinds we have endured here on Platinum Hunters. The inventory slot grind in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is a good example of a terrible grind to have to do. This ain't that, and here are the XP point totals you need on screen now. After you finish unlocking all the characters, the easiest way to get the rest of the XP is to hop into tournament mode and just play on the last available course you have unlocked. The tournament for the Fujiyama Country Club didn't give me a lot of points for winning the tournament, but it helped me unlock the United Country Club course, and then I played a tournament on that course and it gave me a whopping 1000 XP points for winning it. That was more than enough to unlock the last course, and anything else they were going to give me. That was the perfect way to get the last of these course trophies, and then I could focus on the remaining trophies left in this platinum game of golf. We have 5 more trophies to cover in this rousing game of platinum golf, and they pertain to how well you score relative to par on any given course. We'll cover the first trophy, and then you will understand what I mean. Our first trophy is called Was It a Crow or a Raven? And you will obtain it by scoring a birdie. In golf, a birdie is when you finish a hole 1 point under par. For example, if the hole is a par 5, meaning you have 5 shots to complete it without getting a negative score, you have to go out there and do it in 4 shots instead. This is very common in golf if you're doing well on any given hole. You can get this score easily and it can be done on either a par 5, par 4, or par 3 hole. It starts to get a little more difficult from here with the next one. The trophy, hopefully it wasn't a bald eagle, is awarded to you if you can score an eagle. An eagle is like a birdie, except now 2 under par instead of 1. This means you can't get this on a par 3 course because 2 under par is a hole in 1. Math hurts, I know. Yes, but stay with me. So you can only get an eagle on a par 4 or a par 5 course, and I think it's much easier to get it on a par 5 course. Choose a golfer who can hit the ball far like Daryl, Raoul, or Iceman now that you have them unlocked. Then it will take 1 shot to get it across the course, another shot to get it on the green, and then 1 putt to get you the eagle and the trophy. Even more difficult than that is scoring an albatross for the I thought albatross were only in the ocean trophy. An albatross is now 3 under par, so you can only do this on a par 5 course and have to do this in 2 shots. 1 shot to get you across the course, and the other shot will have to be so accurate that you shoot it from the fairway onto the green and into the hole with the flagpole still in it. I don't think I have to tell you this, but this is tough even with the ability to rewind. This is tough for real life golfers. There are many factors to take into account here, like the wind direction, wind speed, your shot power, and even the terrain conditions you're shooting in. It can be done with luck, but you could be here a while. Well, I was getting frustrated, so I looked online to see how everyone else is faring with this, and I found it. Shout out to this clever person on screen. Now I have his name on the screen. This is the absolute best way to do this, and it makes this trophy almost comical. First, you will need to unlock all the courses, which we thankfully have covered the best way to do that already. Then you will need to go into training mode and choose course 6, which is a special unlockable course that's not one of the ones on the list of course trophies. Pick a power golfer again from the last 3 you unlock, like our buddy Daryl. Choose hole 15, which is a par 5 stage that looks like a U. Once you are on the course doing your first shot, aim for the trees and make sure you use a golf club with enough power to get you on the green. Just trust me on this. Because you are in training mode, you can select the wind direction and the wind speed. So you will need to point the wind direction towards the hole, and you will need to crank the wind speed to the max, which is 20. Then you will need a maxed out full power shot, and as the meter is bouncing back, you will need to quickly press down on the D-pad to give your shot some backward spin. If you do this properly, this ball is soaring over these trees and landing in putting distance of the hole. Then it's just a matter of sinking the putt and doing this hole in 2 shots for the albatross. Remember to use the rewind feature if you mess up or forget a step. But this is the absolute easiest way to get this albatross trophy, and this was honestly genius for the person who came up with it. Okay, now for the big one. Time to get a hole-in-one on one of these regular courses for the Holy Smokes trophy. This is the biggest and best feat that you can get in a game of golf. It's very rare to get this on a par 4 course, and it's nigh impossible to do this on a par 5. So the best place you can get this trophy is on a par 3 hole. This can be done while you're going after the unlockable golfers, or you can go into training mode and experiment with the wind speed and the wind direction to help you shoot the perfect shot that sinks it in one go. The flagpole can sometimes be your best friend if you hit it, but a lot of times it's going to be playing goalie, preventing the ball from going in. You little son of a bitch ball, why don't you just go home? That's your home. Are you too good for your home? Sorry about that. Anyways, keep rewinding if the ball doesn't go where you want it to go, and adjust your shot and the wind if you're doing this in training mode. Once you sink the hole and won, you will get the trophy. But that's not where we end this trophy guide. We're not done yet, as there is one more hole-in-one you have to sink for the last trophy of this platinum run. The trophy is called Nothing Can Stop Me, and it's awarded to you for sinking a hole-in-one on any of the mini golf courses. Who doesn't love mini golf? Camelot knows this and added a separate course just for your miniature enjoyment. All of these 18 stages are par 3, and it's pretty easy to get this hole-in-one as opposed to the life-size counterpart. Mini golf is all about trick shots where you bounce the ball off the walls or shoot the ball into a sloped spot that will take the ball into the hole. And since you are putting, you don't have to worry about landing the shots on the green first. Just experiment with angles to see if you can bank shot it into the hole, and of course the rewind feature is there if you need it. Once you sink this final putt, that's your last trophy, and we are done. We have now conquered the courses in Vegas, Hawaii, the UK, and even Fujiyama, Japan. You have also made some fierce rivals along the way, including Iceman, who takes himself way too seriously. I'm ultimately very happy this game got trophies to give us something to aim for. So if you have unlocked every golfer, unlocked every golf course, sunk every type of shot that you can do in golf, got the ball to go to its home, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You will be awarded the Pro Golfer Extraordinaire Platinum Trophy for Hot Shots Golf, or Everybody's Golf, depending on your region. There, I covered my bases. Overall, I had a great time playing this game for the first time. Sure, it has a few trophies that are a bit tough to pull off, but it wasn't too difficult to plat thanks to the rewind feature. Despite the game being from 1997, it doesn't feel too clunky, and it's a solid game. This was Camelot's way of getting their feet wet before they ended up going on to make Mario Golf for the N64 and tons of other Mario games. Oh, and Golden Sun, can't forget about that. I really can't imagine how tough this would be if you played it legit without the rewind feature, but thankfully we don't have to experience it like that. If we play the later clap hands made Hot Shots golf games like the one on the PS Vita or Everybody's Golf on the PS4, we would probably get the real golfing platinum experience here, but not this re-released PS1 classic.
Onomatopoeia. O-N-O M-A-T O-P-O-E-I-A.
Think you're really smart? Then try Intelligent Qube, the painfully tough new brain twister. Get ready to think. Or die.
Okay, so I didn't get my PS1 till 1999, and this early era game never even crossed my radar. Not even once. And even if it did, a young JR probably wasn't going to ask for this for Christmas. Now in the year 2024, I get to try it for the first time, and it's definitely one of the most unique games you'll find on PS Plus Premium. Intelligent Qube, spelled with a Q, not a C, is a puzzle game where you have to eliminate and manage falling cubes with a C, not a Q, before they fall off a cliff. Very weird indeed, and I'm not doing a great job describing it, but IQ is a pretty good time if you love puzzle games. It's super unique. When it comes to the game's trophies, they went with a very simple trophy set that won't take too long to cover. You essentially can get all the trophies from one run of the main mode, which is a shame because beating the game multiple times actually lets you unlock new characters to play as. Considering the plat can be collected in 2 to 3 hours, they could have added a few more trophies for playing as Cynthia or Spike the dog, but oh well, you get your platinum early. There are 9 stages in a full run of IQ story mode, and you get a trophy every time you complete one of them. Here are the trophies on screen now. It starts out pretty easy, but that's because you know you're still learning the game mechanics. They're not gonna rock you right away. You eventually get special blocks and blocks that you can't destroy without getting a penalty, and then the stage really starts to get nerve-wracking by the middle stage and beyond. Of course, because this is a PS Classic, you can rewind your mistakes. Thank God for this feature in this game, because without it, I don't know how I would complete the last run of stages. There are so many blocks and more ways to make errors that will make you fall off the stage to your death. It seriously gets intense as you grind out the final stages to claim your trophies. It's going to be a common thing I say for the rest of this video, but the rewind feature seriously drops the difficulty of all of these platinum trophies, because imagine this one where you have to play it like back in the day. The game has a sequel called IQ Final, and for that trophy run, it's much more punishing even with rewind. But for this one, we really have been thrown the bone here. It's much easier to do with rewind. But back to this IQ game, that's literally half the trophies in the platinum run cleared, and the other half of the trophies are for pulling off one perfect rating on each stage. Just one. Those trophies are on screen now as well. A perfect is when you completely clear every block aside from the dark gray metal ones if they appear. So starting out, it's pretty easy to do this once in the front half of the stages. It's on the back half of the stages where they throw waves of blocks at you and mix in those metal blocks that you can't use the green trap on. This is where it's going to take a ton of trial and error to see what sequence of moves you have to do to get the perfect. I recommend trying to get the perfect right at the beginning of the stage before you lose some of the runway you have, and of course use the rewind feature when things go wrong. It's not the noble way, but the feature is there, just use it. And just like that, there's all the trophies for this game. You might even get this platinum even faster than the runtime of this video. So if you've demolished a bunch of blocks, got a bunch of perfects, got crushed by a bunch of blocks, and proved your IQ is superior, mine wasn't according to the game, congratulations! You will be awarded the Great Success Platinum Trophy for Intelligent Qube. Overall, I find this trophy list just fine, I guess. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it, but you could have done more with it. Unlock the extra characters. Maybe get a perfect rating on all of the sections in a single stage. Little challenge there, I guess. We could have definitely been more creative here and allowed us to spend more time with this quirky little game. I also know the early trophy lists for PS Classics were a bit lacking, but it's more unfortunate here than bad. IQ Final really ramps up the depth of the list, so once you're done here you can tackle that monster if you're still craving more block puzzle fun. For me, I'm happy to have just experienced this game for the first time and happy to have a platinum trophy to reminisce on.
Look, I'm a bit confused, Mr. Kane. You do understand, by winning High Octane, you are entitled to any request of any value. And yet, you asked me for this? Oh man! Give me that! Give me! A paper bag? You can't be serious. Oh man! Down! Down! You get down the street! You said it would be easy!
Welcome to Twisted Metal. That's as good as voice as you're gonna get from me. I can't do the voice. Twisted Metal! This game is iconic and right now very popular thanks to the show. I wish they would hurry up and make a new game though. You are making one, right? Oh. But today we are looking at the very first one made all the way back in 1996 with developer SingleTrack. This is where the series started, and characters like Sweet Tooth and Mr. Grimm make their very first appearance. This game by nature is pretty difficult, even on easy mode, and the trophy run could have been the same way if it wasn't for a few things. Passwords, in particular, just dump the difficulty of this platinum run. Aside from the invincibility and unlimited ammo, which disables trophies, thankfully, all other passwords are fully usable and don't lock you off of trophies. We will get into the greater context of this situation later in the guide, but the trophy run wants you to essentially beat the game with all 12 drivers and pick up a bunch of miscellaneous trophies and environmental trophies along the way. Pretty simple. You can also play on any difficulty you like, as there's no difficulty trophies included in the trophy run. A full playthrough of the game consists of 6 stages, and on screen now we're starting with 6 trophies you can collect when you beat each level. You start off in the arena duel level against your first opponent and 3 lives to your name. And I mean 3 lives to your name, because it's all you get across all 6 levels, so you have to make sure you don't lose them all or it's game over. With each stage you advance to, the number of opponents will increase, making the fights even more chaotic. Yeah, the AI are fighting each other as well, but you get that feeling like they really want you in particular dead and will come find you if you're camping. So to stay alive, you need to know where the healing pads are located in the levels, and you can easily find them by looking for the white X on your radar. There are no difficulty trophies, so you can play on easy mode, which is still hard, but doesn't make it seem like stretching 3 lives across 6 stages is impossible. This trophy run would have been tougher if they decided to disable trophies when you use passwords, but they didn't. Let's say you make it to the 3rd level, expend your last life and get a game over. with the passwords, you can load up the third stage, which is the freeway free-for-all, and just start again with all 3 of your lives. That way you can keep going and keep working at those 6 level trophies. This game doesn't have a save system, so that's how it had to be done back then. To use these passwords, first pick your car and then go into the options menu and select password. Once in there, you have to enter a 5-button combination and press start. Now, on screen now are the passwords for each level, so you can quickly access each of them. The trophies don't disable after you use the passwords, so why not start with all your lives again at the place you died, unless you want to prove yourself, and you can do it legit. So if you get blasted at the 5th Assault on Cyberbia level, no problem, load that password up and keep fighting till you're the winner of this year's competition. At the end of the rooftop combat level, just when you think you've won, now you have to go mano a mano with last year's champion, Minion. You'll have to defeat this overpowered tank to get the Thank You for the Memories trophy. This thing is a pain in the ass to take down, and if Minion has you in front of him, he is going to shave off your life bar and cheeks very quickly. If you did all 6 stages in one go, you are going against him with whatever lives you have remaining. You are going to have a bad time even when using the built-in rewind system that you can use with all the classic PS1 and PSP games. That will help make the fight much easier because you can rewind back any major damage. But because passwords don't affect trophies, you can load up the final battle with 3 lives on easy mode and take him on at relatively full strength. Now you could do this 2 different ways, and on screen now are 2 passwords you can use. If you load up the rooftop combat password, you will fight the 3 opponents first, and then fight Minion after you defeat the 3 combatants. However, if you load up the final battle password, you will fight the 3 opponents and Minion all at once. That might sound stupid at first, but now you have 3 other opponents landing shots on Minion, and if you can stay out of the major fights and keep your distance, you can attack like a vulture and pick at the scraps. You will have a weakened Minion now to fight, so unload your specials and pray he doesn't completely melt you. Now, if you're still struggling even after that, well, then I'll share you this cheese strategy. You will need to get Minion to follow you to this part of the rooftops, and then you'll need to hightail it out of there and get to the position where I am in the video footage. Then just sit there and watch an easy mode Minion try to make this jump on your right and fail over and over and over again until he kills himself. This will get you the free falling trophy, which is collected when either you or your opponent falls off a rooftop in the rooftop combat level. Regular enemies who fall off the rooftops will immediately perish, but Minion will only lose a little bit of health. But in this cheese spot, he will fall, lose health, respawn in the same area, and rinse and repeat. He will die, you will get the Thank You for the Memories trophy, and one of the 12 trophies for the combatant you're using to win the tournament. And also, here are those 12 trophies on screen now for winning with a certain driver. You'll need to beat Minion with each driver in the game, so that can either mean you play through the full tournament 1 by 1 with each driver, or load up the final battle with each combatant and take on Minion and get the trophy that way. These passwords really cut down the overall platinum trophy time, and that's why you can beat this game so quickly. It's really up to you how you want to collect this platinum, but if it were me, I'd rather they would have restricted the platinum a bit more and foregone with all the passwords. But it is what it is, indulge in the game as much as you like. As you get to know each and every driver more intimately, there's more trophies to seek out. This is going to be the easiest gold trophy you will possibly ever get, but this is the Resourceful Driver trophy, where all you have to do is collect 5 weapons in any level. There are power-ups everywhere in these levels. so just drive around and pick them up. The easiest gold trophy you'll ever get. Then there are 3 trophies on screen now for destroying your opponent in 3 different ways. 1 for lighting them up with your basic machine gun fire, 1 for letting them eat your personalized special weapon, and 1 for straight up ramming your opponent to shreds. All 3 of these trophies are very easy to get, and by the time you reach the 6th level, you should have gotten all 3 of these trophies no problem. For the rest of the trophies in this run, it's not going to get any harder than this, so let's cover them double time. Let's go! Our final 6 trophies are all of the environmental variety, and 1 for each level. They are simple and easy, and remember, this game came out in 1995, so give it a break. Let's get the Can't Hide From Me trophy first in the Arena Duel level. There are 3 crates in the level with the words Calypso plastered on them, and you just have to destroy all 3 of them. This is a very small arena, so it's very easy to spot them all. Even easier than that is the You Shouldn't Have Parked There trophy. Find the nearest car in the warehouse district level and blow it up. That's it. Done. Let's one-up even that trophy. We got the You Thought a Barrier Would Stop Me trophy next, and this one pops simply by driving through a set of roadwork site barriers in the freeway free-for-all level. These trophies are coming fast and furious like your opponents. Next, okay, level 4, in the River Park Rumble level, collect the Strategic Brake trophy by simply finding an alley and driving through it. This is a narrow path to sling through, and the trophy pops as soon as you have all 4 wheels inside of it. Very easy. We're back to devastating people's property with the Can I Ban the Van trophy. We are in the Assault on Cyberbia, aka level 5, and you just have to find the nearest van and do what you do best. Just like the trophy in the warehouse level. And now, for our final trophy of the guide and final level of the game, we have the Pyramid Secret trophy. Right when you start the level, you'll spawn right beside this big pyramid on one of these rooftops. In this game, nice things never last, and this pyramid gets destroyed pretty much every time you play this because the health pad is right underneath it. But for the purposes of this trophy, make sure you break it first with some missiles and machine gun fire to get this last trophy. Now you have explored everything in this early PS1 classic, at least trophy-wise we have. With the groundwork set for the series, we know there are some excellent games that built off this one, and it was fun to reminisce, and I appreciate Sony adding this game to the PS Plus premium service, and once again a la carte. But if you have braved the battles against Minion, became the next champion of the Twisted Metal competition, terrorized a bunch of urban locations, got to pilot our kooky cast of chaotic characters like my boy Sweet Tooth, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You will be awarded the Twisted Champion Platinum Trophy for the original Twisted Metal. Overall, the systems of the past and present make this trophy run an absolute joke. The day this came out on PS Plus, I plat this game in legit 2 to 3 hours. You have access to the passwords from the past to speed you along to completing the meat of this game, and the modern comfort of the rewind system can erase mistakes and keep you moving forward. And hey, if you just want to check out this game for the first time or have a quick nostalgia burst, that's okay. I'm just happy this game has trophies at all. I always dreamed about having plats for some of my favorite PS1 games, and now we have it. So all is good, even though it's super easy. Go have fun blowing things up.
Well, my Thomas does the do.
Nothing's more intense than slamming Mountain Dew.
You must be very proud.
Another early game that developer Single Track made is called Jet Moto. This is a hoverbike racing game with a futuristic tinge to it, and the sponsors of the teams are Mountain Dew and Butterfinger. Yeah, seriously. And I rep Mountain Dew hard, because they kind of got it going on over there, if you know what I'm saying. Do the do. I never played this game back in the day, but trying it out now, it's pretty fun. Getting the platinum was pretty fun too, aside from maybe just one grindy trophy. And when I say grindy, that's completely relative, because how grindy can it be when you can get the platinum in just 2 to 3 hours? Not really grindy at all. I guess compared to what you're doing in the game, it's grindy, but not that bad. Yeah, getting Jet Moto's platinum is quick. Essentially, if you use cheat codes for stuff like unlocking tracks. The rest of the cheat codes won't void trophies like they did in Twisted Metal, so you can also use them however you want. Great place to start are these 2 trophies right here. First, get the hang of the game with the Better Practice trophy and go into practice mode doing 3 laps on any track. You can get used to the way the hover bikes handle and learn how to use the magnetic chain on turns. Then, when you are ready for your first taste of victory, you'll need to win your first race in singles race mode. Right off the bat, I turned the difficulty down because these guys were kicking my ass on the higher ones. You can thankfully beat all these trophies on any difficulty you like. Keep racing until you've gotten the Team Player trophy for playing any one rider on all 4 teams. Just choose one of each, and in the process, maybe you'll find your favorite. The stats do make a difference on the way the hover bikes feel. I noticed that while I was playing through the game. Then there are 3 miscellaneous trophies you can get at any given time while you're racing. Something you'll want to do to ensure your victory is use your turbo boosts that refresh on every new lap. So getting the maximum thrust trophy requires you to use all 12 turbo boosts in a standard 3-lap race. You will start your first lap with 4 boosts, and at the end of the second lap you will be back to 4 boosts no matter how many you used. This trophy just wants you to use all of them and go fast. Now, if you use them at the wrong times, you might be dishonorably awarded this next trophy. The Clumsy Handler trophy will be added to your collection if you fall off your bike 3 times in any race. Boost on a corner when you're supposed to turn, and you are guaranteed to be slamming into something and falling off your hover bike. Then the other trophy is called Handbrake Professional, and it's pretty doable. You have to finish a race without using your magnetic grapple. Now, I really didn't know about this mechanic right away, so I did the trophy unknowingly, but holding circle beside the purple magnetic beam will turn on your magnetic grapple and help you take tighter turns. This trophy though, it wants you to race without using it. You don't have to use it to get the win anyways. You can get this trophy no problem. Alright, now we can talk about more aspects of the game like its tracks. There are 7 trophies you can unlock just by finishing a race on a given track in any game mode. Here are those trophies on screen. However, it's not as easy as picking the track and just racing on them. Unless you use cheat codes, of course. You start the game off with the first 3 tracks, Joyride, Blackwater Falls, and Zazu Swamp, unlocked. Blackwater Falls is a really cool track in particular because it has a part in it that can dishonorably give you a trophy. Hilariously, you can get the What a Mean Checkpoint trophy if you drive up the dam too fast and get clotheslined by the dam checkpoint at the top. Damn bro, it's always friggin' a laugh seeing the ragdoll physics in this game. Then you can unlock more tracks by playing through and winning a playthrough of Full Season mode, which you need to do once anyways for the Seasonal Winnings trophy. However, there is a big caveat here. Winning a full season on easy will unlock nothing for you, and you'll have to play on intermediate difficulty to unlock more tracks. Then, there are even more tracks to unlock by winning a season of professional difficulty. Thankfully, the ones you need for the remaining trophies are unlocked just by beating the intermediate level season. You don't have to do the other one. But if you don't want to do the legwork and just have all the tracks, I mentioned there's a cheat code earlier. It extends to all tracks. It's a bit of a process to do the code, so bear with me here as I explain how to do it. To unlock all tracks, start by going to the options menu again and set the difficulty to amateur and the trophy presenter to male, and then press start to go back to the main menu. When you are at the main menu, you have to press up, right, down, left, up, right, down, left. This is just part 1 of the combination, so now you have to go back to the options menu again and set the difficulty to professional this time and the trophy presenter to rider's choice. Then press start to go back to the main menu and press up, left, down, right, up, left, down, right. This will unlock all tracks if you entered it incorrectly. So now with the tracks unlocked, you can do the track trophies and make sure you complete a full season before you use the cheat codes. So that way a full season is only 3 races instead of 10. The minute you access all tracks with the code, you're making your seasonal winning trophy a lot longer to get. So I'm just giving you the heads up. We still got more trophies to go, so now we are focusing on trying out all the rest of the modes and playing races. You have trophies on screen now for 3 different mode types: Custom Circuit Championship, Custom Circuit Rally, and Custom Circuit Elimination. And keep in mind you have to win these. The Championship mode allows you to pick a bunch of tracks in any order and you race through them scoring the same way you are in full season mode. In Circuit Rally, it's like Championship mode, but you're scored based on your lap times, and they are added together at the end of the race, so the person with the lowest time at the end of the set of tracks wins. Elimination is where things get interesting because we have 2 more trophies for that mode on top of winning it. A certain number of racers at the end of the race will be eliminated from the competition, and it continues on like this after every race. So if you are unlucky, you get another dishonorable trophy called, well, someone has to lose, if you are eliminated in the very first round. That's rough, bruv. That's a tough go, man. But if you do well in the events and you kick out 8 different riders, you'll honorably be given the Circuit Half Full trophy instead. Just make sure you have enough racers lined up so you can mathematically pull this off. Then you just need to win the whole elimination tournament to get that last trophy. Then we have 2 more trophies left to cover, and you should have put a nice dent in them already doing all the other trophies. Now we have the Jet Moto Enthusiast trophy after you finish 15 races across all game modes, and the Jet Moto Racer trophy for completing 30 races. The Jet Moto Racer trophy is the one I mentioned earlier that's somewhat grindy, but again, 3 hours to get the plat, relative grind, not a real grind really. For the remaining races I just played the track Hammerhead with a lap count set to 2. This track is very small, simple, and quick to finish a race. And after bombing out those races, you can take a victory lap on race number 30 and coast it to a platinum finish. And if you put the time in repping Mountain Dew or Butterfinger, survived elimination races, dominated full seasons like you are Max Verstappen, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You will be awarded the Jet Moto Champion Platinum Trophy for Jet Moto. Overall, Jet Moto is a fun, early arcade racer that is simple to play and simple to plat. It's a good time, and that's all you can really ask for. Now it gets a bit deeper and more refined with its sequels, Jet Moto 2 and 3, but let's remember this game came out in 1996. It won't take you a long time to plat, especially with the cheat codes, and you get 3 or more pretty solid hours of cool racing. It might not be for everyone. Maybe you kind of feel it a little bit too janky, a little too old for your racing tastes. But I think it's worth getting the platinum, especially considering the time spent here.
Where's that little sweetheart? Come here! Let him let me give you a kiss!
Wouldn't it be cool to be Buzz Lightyear? Now you can be Buzz in the new Toy Story 2 video game. Use lasers and whirling torso spins to save the day.
There you are!
As of recording this video, a bunch of Disney classic games were just retroactively getting trophy support, even way after the game had been released on PS Plus. So I want to talk about one or maybe two of them in this video. So it's Toy Story time, baby. To infinity and beyond. It's time to take a look at the Platinum Trophy run for Toy Story 2, Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. I think out of all the many Disney PS1 games released back in the day, Toy Story 2 is definitely a top 5 banger. It's certainly 100 times better than A Bug's Life, which was my very first game I got with my PS1. Oh, I messed up big time choosing that one. Big time. Since the trophies were added after the fact, I think there has been a lot more consideration here with the overall trophy run. Good mix of stuff you were going to do anyways, and trophies that make you approach a certain part of the game maybe a little bit differently. That's interesting. But everything is done in one playthrough with nothing missable thanks to level select. You don't even have to get 100% of everything in the Platinum, but that's okay, it's close enough to that mark for my tastes. I'm going to cover these trophies in bunches based on the type of activities you will get up to in this crazy game. You're really going where no toy has gone before, and I realize that they cover a ton of ground in Toy Story 2 compared to the first movie. They are out in the wild way more than the first. It's nice having these cutscenes from the movie diced up into chunks, but you can really see the concessions where they made the cuts to fit it on the disc. But anyways, we have to cover 2 overarching trophies before we dive into each category individually. And shout out our first one here, aptly named To Infinity and Beyond. This is awarded for holding 9 lives at one time, which you can do by not dying obviously, but by collecting the green ringed Buzz Life coins. There is at least one of them in every level, and they are especially easy to find in the beginning set of levels. I got the trophy when I got to the 5th level, so you can get it pretty quickly so long as you're not recklessly losing your lives. Then we have the You're a Better Buzz Than I Am trophy, which you get by speaking to our buddy Rex in every level. He will appear in every level excluding bosses and give you hints about where NPCs are and how you can get tokens. Just walk into him on every level and you'll get the trophy in the level called Tarmac Trouble right before the final boss. Speaking of bosses, there are 5 big bad bosses to fight across the game's 15 locations. Here are the trophies on screen now, which are actually unmissable and automatic trophies, but I thought why not shout them out? We have time. We're not going anywhere, are we? I really liked the fight with Emperor Zurg and the fight against the Way Out space toy the best. The gooey monster in the alley was cool too, although pretty tough considering he comes back to life. But what's even cooler is that every single level has its own mini boss to fight, and they are optional to fight unless you're gunning for all the tokens, of course. But for us, all of them have trophies that will unlock when you beat them. Here are those said trophies on screen now. If you're keeping count, that's not enough trophies. You're right, you're very smart, you're very perceptive. There are these 3 sub-boss trophies that have special stipulations on how you need to beat them. For example, Clown Top in the Alley and Gullies level has to be defeated by only spin attacks, or else the Spin to Win trophy won't be awarded to you. Let's Beyblade and beat this clown to a pulp. The Attentive Space Ace trophy asks you to defeat the dinosaur mini-boss without stepping in goo in Al's Toy Barn. You have to just be careful when you're jumping around, and the boss can go down super easy if you have the super laser that you can find at the beginning of the level. Then the much trickier Reach for the Sky trophy that's in Al's penthouse asks you to defeat the Gunslinger with only charged laser shots. Fighting the boss, I sometimes accidentally hit him with a stray laser when I'm pressing the square button to charge up the shot. Plus the camera in this game and this tight environment you fight him in do you no favors at all. It's all a bit annoying when trying to get this trophy, but it's nothing spectacularly difficult. None of these trophies really are. It's just a bit of an annoying stipulation for this particular one. Getting into the level activities themselves, let's look at the 5 trophies related to finding 5 of something for someone. For example, helping Bo Peep find her sheep, in which there are 5 of them scattered around the first level in Andy's house. These are the 5 trophies, and everybody is losing shit around here like crazy. Sarge's troops are found in the next level after Andy's house in Andy's neighborhood. The foreman's little tykes are in the construction yard, and I'm wondering whether these little tykes can legally work. I guess working with underage toys is not covered in the legislation. Then we have to find all the green mothership aliens in Al's Spaceland, and then lastly we have to find Jesse's critters in Al's penthouse, and holy Christ, are you okay, Jesse? Holy horses, Jesse is looking pretty rough in this game. Yeesh. Moving on away from that awful sight. The next set of trophies are various types of races, whether it's against an opponent or against the time. Our first 2 happen in the first 2 levels and are against our buddy RC. Here's the trophies on screen now, and pay attention to the second one. You can come back to the second race and beat it once you have the rocket boots, but the trophy wants you to beat it without them. So as you race RC, make sure you get in front of him when he's about to pass you, and he will come to a screeching halt. You will need to keep doing this until you win the race. RC will also help you out a bit by spinning out on wet surfaces, but he's much faster in the second race and you'll need to play dirty to win. The Rooster's Run trophy is for winning Rooster's second race in Al's Toy Barn. This is time-based and will involve some quick platforming skill to make sure you get to your destination in time. You can use the rewind if you mess up. Over at Al's Spaceland, which is the next level, you will race a flying saucer for the Full Throttle trophy. You need to get the W by cruising across all the zip lines until you get to the end of the path, across the finish line first. This one was really easy, I didn't even need to rewind to do it. And then the last one is called the Great Air Duct Race, where you have to reach a token at the end of some air ducts before the time runs out. This is in the level called Elevator Hop, and you will have to speak with Father Mouse, who is all the way at the top of the level. Then the race is on and Buzz has to dive down the ducts to make it to the token before time is up and it disappears. All these races are not that hard when you can just rewind and take back actions. Some of them might have taken a few tries to do otherwise, especially the second RC race. There are 3 trophies that involve some puzzle solving. You have to remember how to mix colors for the Exploring That Creative Spark trophy. Go to the green worker shed in the level construction yard and perfectly mix the 3 batches of paint that are on top of the shelves for this token and trophy. Wired and Ready is the prize for solving the elevator wire puzzle, and you'll need to do this puzzle anyways if you want to get to the top part of Elevator Hop. You'll also need the grappling hook from Mr. Potato Head, so make sure you get that done first. You have to press buttons on a terminal where one color goes upwards and one goes down. Keep pressing until you fully connected the wire connection and then proceed to the token. Lastly, we have the Heli Helper trophy for solving the puzzle that makes this helicopter touch down on the landing zone. It involves pressing buttons yet again, but you have to make all the colors appear on the bottom row only, pressing 3 buttons. That's a stupid stipulation, and I was impatient, so for this one I just kept pressing 3 combinations until I got it. Okay, these next tokens are just hanging out in high up weird spots, and there is a trophy attached to them. There are 3 trophies here in question. We're going back to the alleys and gullies level first. Lots of trophies in this place, let me tell you. We can get 1 toy's trash is Buzz's treasure for riding a balloon onto a trash can that has a token for us to grab. You need to get yourself up to the fan above by doing some platforming and activating it by butt stomping the red button. Then you can climb the fan and jump onto the balloon string and ride that thing to the trash can to get your prize. In the back office in Al's Toy Barn, you can get on top of the filing cabinets and find a token there. That will also get you the A Prize Unfiled trophy, and to do this you'll need to snipe the locks to open the drawers so Buzz can jump on them. I really like how Buzz's face reflects in the glass, that's a nice touch. But once you have all 3 drawers open, just make your way up there and grab the token. Then the Plane Scavenger trophy is for the token hidden on top of the broken plane in the level Airport Infiltration. The first thing you need to do is get the hover boots from Mr. Potato Head. You're going to need it for this, so do that first if you haven't. Then find the hangar, which is past where Rocky Gibraltar is standing. That's the guy with the yellow shirt and muscles. Then this is the harder part of the job. You have to make it all the way to the top of the tower in order to be able to get over to the broken plane. So make the climb all the way up and then use the hover boots at the top of your glide, so that way you can get over to the token, which you should see no problem all the way up at the top. You'll see it there and you'll grab it and get the trophy. Okay, 5 more trophies left to cover. Throughout the game, there are a few NPCs that will issue challenges to you where you have to find 5 or 6 things before the time limit is up. The things are usually pretty close to where the challenge was made, so they're not that hard to beat at all, you just gotta look around and find them. There are 2 toys handing out trophies on top of the token you get for winning their challenge. We got the Ride Like the Wind Bullseye trophy for completing Bullseye's challenge in Al's penthouse, and the Weighted Success trophy for completing Rocky Gibraltar's challenge in the Airport Infiltration level. It might take a few tries to find all the locations of all the items, but once you know all the spots, it's just a matter of putting it all together and grabbing them all before the time's up. It's easy and you have time to do it, trust me pal. Okay, we're rounding out our last set of trophies here for this giant adventure of the Platinum Run, and they are the only ones that don't involve tokens other than the main bosses. These are just 3 environmental trophies they threw in for good measure. First one brings us once again to the construction yard for the Guaranteed to Stick trophy. To get it, you have to take a dip in the drying concrete pad. Oh, concrete, okay. And the trophy description says relaxing dip, but I don't find this relaxing. But you just have to jump in the concrete and sink a little bit until the trophy pops. Then we go back to the alley and gullies level for the How Riveting trophy. There is indeed a gully you can find and jump around it to get a token. To get this trophy though, just simply jump on every lily pad found in the gully. Careful not to slip into the water, or just rewind. Yeah, you're probably tired of hearing me say the word rewind. Yeah, it's getting tiring for me too. You have to rewind for this very last trophy because it wants you to mess up. Heck, rewind if you actually do it right. The game is rigged, is dishonorably given to you if you fail the claw machine 3 times while trying to grab the token. It's much easier to get the token here than a real life claw machine, so just mess it up intentionally a few times so you can get it. And with that last trophy and last token, you have mastered this game, at least from a platinum perspective. If you want to collect 100%, that's up to you, you can do it. I believe in you, pal, and that's all that matters. But if you've defeated every boss, helped out a ton of NPCs for tokens, talked to our best bud Rex in every level, reached for the sky, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You are awarded the I'm Proud of You Cowboy Platinum Trophy for Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. There's a snake in my boot. Fuck, I love Toy Story. Overall, I think this trophy list that they ended up going with is much better than most of the PS Plus classics, and it's actually good that they added it retroactively. Maybe not for people who played the game before the trophy patch, but it's short? I know it's a piss off, what can I say? Do it again. You'll be done in 5 to 6 hours easily, and the game is just as good as I remember it. It was never the best platformer on the PS1, and maybe not even the best Disney game on that platform, but damn is it a good one. and a very nostalgic one, and I'm very happy to have it in my Platinum collection. Now get trophies for LEGO Star Wars. Do it. Okay, we've covered a bunch of Platinum trophy lists from the PS1 era, but what about the PlayStation Portable? When I found out there was going to be PSP games on PS Plus, I was super excited because it's an era of games that has a bunch of bangers. Those games, or at least the ones Sony owns, got trophy support, which feels almost like a full circle moment. If you don't know, Sony wanted to add trophies to PSP games back in the day, but didn't because the console was already hacked to high hell. Pandora battery, anybody? Now seeing games like Super Stardust, Portable, Pursuit Force, or Resistance Retribution on the service is dope. We'll cover those 3 games in this video for sure, but I wanted to start with one that's often either forgotten or willfully ignored. It's even from a series that many PlayStation fanatics hold dear. Yes, of course, we have to take a look at the Platinum experience for Ratchet & Clank Size Matters.
This is the new mutator from Ratchet & Clank for PlayStation Portable. And that is our buddy Dan making out with his girlfriend. Alright.
Hey, cow kisser! You're dead. You guys are dead. Your girlfriend's hot, man. Your girlfriend's hot.
Size Matters is a game I have historically always been very hard on when it comes to ranking it in the overall franchise. So coming back to it here with this new avenue to play this, I realized that yes, I have been a bit harsh on it. It's not as bad as I remember it being from back in the day, and it's not this catastrophic blemish in the Ratchet & Clank pantheon. That's all for one. I don't know if being able to play this on the big screen helped me realize that, but I had a great time playing it this time in this new released way. Yes, the camera is still garbage. Yes, the enemies are still stupidly spongy. And yes, the bolt grind for the Rhino gun is still nauseating. But with more time with this game, I have come to terms with a bunch of my criticisms of it. Plus, I think the trophy selection here is really nice. Quality choices here for trophies that echo other Platinum runs in the series, but also highlight the unique things found in this particular entry. I hope I have the same epiphany for Secret Agent Clank when that eventually gets released, and I can die a happy man. But today we break down this first PSP classic of the video and its trophies. Let's get into it. The way I'm going to cover this trophy run is by starting with the trophies you'll collect in your first playthrough, and then the trophies that you'll need to start challenge mode in order to get. We'll exhaust everything we can do for trophies before we start our New Game Plus play, but of course you can do whatever you want and get the trophies any way you wish. As with almost every Ratchet game, when you defeat the last boss, the game will ask you if you want to start challenge mode or return to before you beat the last boss. In this case, for the purposes of this video, we will choose to return until we have collected every trophy we can get before we get to challenge mode and those exclusive ones. 6 of the trophies are unmissable and story related, so no need to worry there, but we still have a good amount of trophies left to grab. When your vacation is interrupted while you're trying to relax on Poketaru, you can grab 2 trophies right away in the first hour of your adventure. Lombax Sushi can be your first earnable reward by dishonorably getting eaten by the fish that always makes sure you don't go out of bounds. Seriously, every game where there's an endless ocean in front of you, that damn fish is there. You can get this on a few later levels too. Then we have the big but useless trophy, and you get it exclusively here on Poketaru. Later in the level you have the chance to encounter a much bigger giant version of the blue crab enemies, and he usually appears in the spot before you ride on the boat rafts. You can't miss him when he shows up, he's much bigger than the others. The only issue is that he doesn't appear on your first go around and you have to find him later on after you complete the story missions. As a series staple, you can also find your first titanium bolt on Poketaru, and then pop your first of 3 titanium bolt trophies on screen now. If you've played enough Ratchet & Clank games, you know the drill, but for the first time players, these are collectibles found in often hidden parts of the levels. Some of them will require you to obtain certain gadgets to reach them, and 20 titanium bolts is indeed all of them in Size Matters. A good guide will help you out with these trophies, and I recommend waiting till you finish the story or unlock all the traversal type gadgets first before you seek them out. Normally, I would bring up the fact that you can spend your titanium bolts on skins, but in this game, absolutely do not do that. No. Bad. You will lock yourself out of the trophy and you will have to start a brand new save. I think this is an unintentional glitch, but until it gets patched, do not buy any of these skins until you get the trophy. You have been warned. Moving on. Sorry to be so intense there, but if you miss the trophy, that's on you, man. Your arsenal is going to fill out nicely as you keep playing, and eventually you will get the Weapon Collector Ratchet trophy when you obtain any 8 weapons. They could be the ones you purchase from Gadgetron, or ones you find, or even rewards from challenges. The amount of weapons in Size Matter is smaller than usual, but all the right ones are here. Suck Cannon, Agents of Doom, a Blitz Gun equivalent, Flux Rifle type gun, we got it all here. The Lacerator weapon you get from the start is great, and probably the gun that gets you the "this one's my favorite" trophy for upgrading it or any other weapon 3 times. Each weapon can upgrade 4 times here, and at level 4 the Lacerator will significantly upgrade to the dual Lacerators. It's one of my favorite things about the Ratchet & Clank games. You get this trophy for any weapon really, but for whatever weapon you level up first, you're getting rewarded. You further augment your weapons even after you hit level 4 by paying a visit to our good old buddy Slim Cognito in select locations. Shady Dealings, Big Results is a trophy you'll get for purchasing your first weapon mod. The first location you find him is on the planet Caledon, right beside your ship, and you can also find him later on Chalix and Quadrana. Weapon mods can give you some cool upgrades, especially the lock-on mod, which kind of helps you deal with the wonky and often in-your-face camera. Normally they cause some weird currency type in the other games, but here you can purchase them with bolts, so that's cool. We've talked weapons, so now let's talk gadgets. I love talking shop with you guys. Another one for the collection will be awarded to you once you have all 11 gadgets on your person. You start with 4 of them, and you collect 3 more of them through the story, so that only leaves the Bolt Grabber, Box Breaker, Map-O-Matic, and PDA as your responsibility to collect. In fact, you'll get the Expedited On-Demand Delivery trophy for buying the PDA gadget for 50,000 bolts, when it becomes available to purchase in the Gadgetron vendor. The other 3 are also purchasable in the vending machine, so you don't really have to do anything special to seek out these gadgets. You just have to spend a bit of bolts. The way this game implements its armor system is really cool, and I completely forgot that it works in this manner. Instead of buying and obtaining armor suits outright like most RNC games, you collect pieces of them that you can mix and match to varying results. It sounds like more work putting the suit together, but trust me, it's an excellent system I want implemented in some of the future games. You'll quickly get these 2 trophies on screen now after you get your first armor piece and first completed armor set. Just playing through the first 3 levels, you will get the helmet, body, gloves, and boots for the Wildfire armor set, which will set enemies on fire when you hit them with your wrench. See this? This is awesome. Each armor set will give you a perk like this when you get a full set, on top of damage reduction of course. But getting access to cool perks with fire, freeze, acid attributes, and more is just so great, and I can't remember any of the other games taking this approach to armor sets. Even better than that, you can unlock secret armor combinations that give you more unique full set abilities. Discovering and using your first secret set gets you the Hidden Potential trophy. While most of the secret combinations require armor parts you get in challenge mode, there are a few you can put together in your first playthrough. Using the wildfire body, gloves, and boots, and combining them with the Sludge MK9 helmet, unlock the Wild Burst armor, which leaves exploding pools of acid on the floor when you use wrench strikes. See how sick this system is? There are 6 secret armor sets on top of the 7 regular armor sets, and I think this is one of the best aspects of this game. Can't evangelize it enough. I wish they would bring it back. Alright, let's cover some more environmental trophies going planet by planet. We did the ones on Poketaru, and the second planet, Rylus, doesn't have any. So now we have the Display of Vandalism trophy on planet Caledon for destroying 5 displays in the Caledon Mechanoid Factory. It's a quick trophy to get in this part of the level where there are robots on display in a glass case. You just need to shoot or wrench all of them in the room and take out the ones in the preceding rooms. At the end of the level, you'll have a boss fight with a purple beast named Mungo, and you can get the Monkey Wrench trophy if you defeat it with only using your wrench. This is where having a complete armor set comes in handy because you want your wrench to be super powered to fight this guy. And you can't go back and fight him again later after you beat him the first time, which makes this trophy missable until you head over to your challenge mode playthrough where you fight him again, albeit much more powerful. So you're going to want to try and rough this one out, and it's probably the first time I used the rewind feature so far. Wrench strikes really work on him, but you have to watch out for a few of his attacks that hit really hard. It can be done though, and that rewind feature really helps out a lot for getting this trophy. The next trophy we'll cover is easier and not missable, thankfully. I Am the Nightmare is for re-entering the Dreamtime area from the medical chair on the Medical Outpost Omega planet. This Dreamtime sequence is an absolute mind trip, and going through this section again is dizzying. But you might have missed a few platinum bolts and have to re-enter it anyways, so this trophy might be gotten pretty naturally. And while you're still at the Medical Outpost Omega area, let's do some racing, eh? I've been pretty nice to this game all video, but the hoverboard races in this game kinda blow. The high risk boosting trophy is for executing an improv shortcut across space in one of the races here in this area. It's not totally apparent where the shortcut is because you are sort of improvising, but if you follow along with my video, you can see the path to take. It's a spot near the end of the racetrack where you can leap across space if you have enough boost to carry you from the one spot to the next. It's a big leap of faith across space from this jump right here, and you can skip a really meaty chunk of the track every lap. If you pull it off the first time, the trophy will be yours. Then you have this dishonorable trophy to grab. Another one. What is going on with these loser trophies? A lost talent is for finishing any race in 4th place, including any of the races here on Caledon. It's that straightforward. Come in last and be a loser. A lot of these trophies in this video want you to suffer and be a loser. Alright, before we cover the biggest Easter egg trophy of them all, at least in this game, we have to cover a topic we're all too familiar with. They go hand in hand anyways, so here it is. The Skillful Warrior trophy is for earning 15 skill points. It wouldn't be a RNC game without skill points. You are awarded these skill points for pulling off a specific feat or doing something outside the box. It could be as simple as breaking all the crates on the planet Rylus, or as complicated as completing a certain section under a time limit like beating the Master Hoverboard Challenge under 3 minutes and 25 seconds. There are a total of 25 skill points in Size Matters, so you have the opportunity here to pick and choose which ones you want to complete. I personally leaned on the Clank Challenge skill points to get me the 15 mark because I didn't find them that hard or time consuming. I skipped the Giant Clank score skill points entirely and anything hoverboard race related. So you have a 10 skill point buffer this time, which is nice because usually the games want you to complete every skill point. The guide I provided will have a list of them and their criteria for beating them. A few of them can be a bit obtuse, so also look them up on YouTube if you're getting stuck. Where it can be helpful to collect all 25 skill points is for permanently unlocking the game's version of the Insomniac Museum called the High Impact Treehouse. Welcome, enjoy your stay is the trophy you get for your first visit to the High Impact Treehouse, where there is a bunch of cut content for you to mess around with in this cool area. Very reminiscent of the Insomniac museums before it, with stuff they were working on but might have been unfit for the final release of Size Matters. Now to get it here at all is pretty interesting. At the very beginning of the planet Metalis, there is a locked door that you can open with a gadget called the Polarizer, and then there is a small gauntlet you have to go through to get to the warp pad that takes you to the treehouse. If you have all 25 skill points, the warp pad will be permanently unlocked for you to go in whenever you want. But there is always another way in, and thankfully here, if you don't want to collect all the 25 skill points, the warp pad will appear between the times 2:42 a.m. and 2:48 a.m. Not a big window at all during the nighttime as well. Thankfully, you can just change your console's clock settings to 2:40 a.m. and by the time you load the game and go through the path, the warp pad should appear. Then transport yourself to the magical place of unfinished stuff, getting your first of 3 trophies inside here. The second trophy, What Could Have Been, is for finding and using the cut weapon. Yes, it's a cut weapon, but once you find it on the second floor, you'll see that it's really a cut weapon. Would have been cool to have it for the main game. Then we can get the Clank Would-Be Proud trophy for solving any of the cut Gadgetbot survival challenges. And thank God they were cut. The ones in the main game are easy, and these ones are not. They're a freaking nightmare. The pure definition of turning something up to 11. I swear to God, if there was no rewind feature, I don't know how it would be possible to solve any of these. Even when you know what to do to solve the puzzle, you have to be so precise with activating each bot's abilities, and doing it at the wrong time will not suffice. This was personally the hardest trophy in this damn list. These Gadgetbot puzzles are diabolical, and yeah, good call keeping them out of the main game. Good call. Alrighty, we have reached the part of the Platinum Run where you can go defeat the last boss again and officially start up your challenge mode playthrough. And we have 4 more trophies left that can realistically only be collected here. The biggest benefit of playing on challenge mode is the bolt multiplier that will give you lots of bolts so long as you don't get hit. So make sure you don't take a hit till you reach the max multiplier of times 12 and get the Worker's Dozen trophy. This is the max multiplier you can get, and it's going to be pivotal for the last 3 trophies. It certainly makes getting the Being a Hero Pays Off trophy for collecting 1 million bolts. That's a big number, and you wouldn't even get close while you're in your first playthrough, but with that multiplier you can achieve this pretty easily, and trust me, you need the money. Bigger and better than ever is the trophy for purchasing any one Titan weapon, which are the beefed up versions of your maxed out weapons that you can only buy in challenge mode. Your weapons keep getting more badass in challenge mode, and you have to buy just one of the Titan weapons for this trophy. The cheapest one to buy is the Titan Dual Lacerators, which is only 250,000 bolts. That's not bad if you have the multiplier running. Now, you probably think at this point, okay, what are we worrying about? Why are we hustling for money? Well, the last trophy, called Rip Ya a Better One, is for purchasing the iconic series staple weapon called the Rhino. Having this weapon is the equivalent of using cheat codes because everything you shoot just dies. You can only get it in challenge mode, but it's gonna cost you. The price for the Rip Ya a New One is a whopping 9,999,000 bolts. Why is this so much more expensive than the other guns? Why? This is the big thing that most players despise about this game. Everything is too expensive and they don't give you enough bolts. If you want to get the Rhino the legit way via playing challenge mode, you will need at least 2, maybe 3 playthroughs of challenge mode depending on how well you can keep the multiplier at 12. And just when I'm starting to like this game, I'm not gonna tarnish that. So it's time to look up a bolt farming method, and luckily there is one. Instead of 3 to 4 hour playthroughs, let's get all the bolts we need in an hour or so. You will be using the high impact treehouse in order to do this, as inside of the place there are these lawn chairs that you can break that give you around 10,000 bolts each. Multiply that by 12 and you are making quite a bit of money each chair. Now if you combine that with the money you can get in the route that gets you to the teleporter, then you're making some really good money. Just keep entering and leaving the treehouse and make sure you have a 12 times multiplier. If you get hit, rewind. It took me about an hour to get enough money for the Rhino using this farming method, which saves a metric bolt ton of time. Now you may want to get all the skill points so that you permanently have the treehouse available, or else you will have to change your console's time settings every time the portal disappears. Either way, this is the best way to skip this awful grind and get the trophy you need that gets you the platinum trophy. This one took a bit longer to cover all the trophies, but we saved the galaxy yet again. Size Matters was definitely one of the PSP classics people were waiting for, and I dreaded it dropping at first, but I've grown to like this game. Like I said before, I was definitely too harsh on it, so if you've unlocked the Rhino, mixed and matched a bunch of cool armor sets, stopped a Technomite minuscule invasion, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You will be awarded the It's How You Use It Platinum Trophy for Ratchet & Clank Size Matters. Giggity. Overall, I had a great time getting the platinum for this one. The problems I had with it didn't bother me this time, except maybe the camera, but it's old. It is what it is. Or they were mitigated using the strategies devised by people much more clever than me. The trophy list doesn't make you run too many playthroughs of the game, even though they could have to unlock certain things if it wasn't for farming strategies. Plus, it leaves 100% completion completely up to you while making you still experience all the best things in the experience. Can't ask for more here. I'm a little more optimistic now for when they eventually roll out the other high impact games made, which is also not in Ratchet fans' good books. But maybe I'll have another stipulation like this one where I end up enjoying it. But as for Size Matters, I recommend going for the platinum, and I never thought I would say that. Super Stardust is a game that has existed already for many years. Seriously, Housemarque made their first version of this game in 1993. They weren't even called Housemarque back then. They were called Bloodhouse. But they made a new version for PSN called Super Stardust HD, and that's where the game became a cult classic for many hardcore PlayStation fans. Then they took that version and made it for Sony's, at the time, current PSP. That's the version we are going to highlight right now. I loved Returnal so much. It's still my favorite game on the PS5, but I never checked out any of their other games before. Turns out Super Stardust Portable is awesome and has an awesome platinum experience. The trophy run is going to be familiar if you have played Super Stardust HD, except this time you get a platinum trophy for your efforts. It's the exact same list right down to the requirements. The big difference here is that you didn't have a rewind function in the PSN version, and those trophies were insanely hard to get there without one. Here they are far more manageable with the rewind. Best place to start is by playing through arcade mode and completing each planet by taking out the bosses at the end. Here are the 5 trophies for completing the 5 different planets. This game is the best shoot 'em up in my humble opinion, and it's awesome what this game constantly throws at you. You got some exciting boss fights at the end of every planet that will make you pucker up your ship hole while you try to take them down. These 5 trophies are for conquering these stages without losing all your lives, and a good place to start collecting trophies. For one of these planets, you'll need to complete one of them without using your ship boost for the Scenic Route trophy. I kinda did this by accident because I didn't know there was a boost feature, but yeah, just don't use it at first. For the later stages, it's incredibly powerful and will save your bacon in many situations, so maybe you want to use this on the first planet and just get the trophy out of the way. Case in point, it's great for getting these 2 trophies on screen now. You will need to use your boost and glide into 5 tokens and 10 tokens. The tokens are the power-ups you can pick up that give you your juiced up weapons and shields and bombs. You'll need to use 1 boost to glide into a number of these things, which is a bit trickier than it sounds. The tokens will follow you, but only if you're in very close proximity of them. Thankfully, in the later stages, there are a ton of tokens at all times, and it's a matter of lining them up and boosting the glory. One type of token you might run into is the yellow bomb tokens, and these things clear screens when you are absolutely in trouble. They're the most powerful tool in your tool bag, but for these 2 trophies on screen, you can't use them and you need to hold them till you get 10 locked and loaded, and then 20 bombs. So make sure you keep them while you play, and make sure you also grab any of the yellow tokens when they appear. After a bit they disappear, so don't dilly-dally on that. It's gonna make your playthrough a bit harder, but it's doable with rewind. I don't know how hard people had to struggle for the HD version's trophies on PSN. It must have been a lot. More struggling heading your way though. Now you have to keep your multiplier up and raise it to 10 times for the multiplier hero trophy. It will require you don't die, which will reset your multiplier. Keep grabbing those point tokens and boosting through green dust from the green asteroids. If you can get enough green dust, you might get a token that will double your current multiplier, and it will get you to the 10 times mark much faster than grinding it out playing perfectly. But probably the most difficult trophy to get in arcade mode is the Shield Blaster trophy. While already having a shield covering your ship, you need to collect 5 more shield tokens without dropping your shield. One single hit will bring that shield down, so essentially you're playing this game flawlessly again until you get the trophy. Even with the rewind to undo your shield going down, it's pretty random as to how fast you will get these shield tokens. You might also find yourself in some unwinnable situations where you're just surrounded by enemies, and this complicates things. So start on the very first planet and keep playing and playing until you find your first shield and then 5 more tokens. Skill is definitely a factor here to dodge enemies and stay safe. Alrighty, we are winding down to the end of this trophy list, and we have some trophies to get in some other modes that you can play in the game. If you just feel like going for a high score, try Endless mode and get 2 of the trophies in the process. Extra ships optional is the first, and you need to survive for 7 minutes in Endless mode without dying. It will start off pretty calm, all things considered, in the first few minutes, and then it will ramp up considerably as you kill more enemies and increase your score. Now you can't do that for the other trophy, Shock and Awe, and you need to destroy 10 nukes. The nukes will act as a screen clear, taking out all the enemies currently there. You need to keep moving and survive until you shoot 10 of them. As I mentioned, the difficulty is going to increase every nuke, and you're going to get swarmed by enemies after a while, so make sure you survive long enough to have 10 nukes appear. Now we will try out survival mode, which is like Endless mode, but shit hits the fan from the very beginning. You have 1 life and you better start running right away. It doesn't help that in order to get the Close Encounters trophy, you need to survive 45 seconds in this mode, but you can't shoot with any of your weapons. 45 seconds may not seem like a lot, but it's a long 45 seconds, trust me. You will feel like you have an angry mob after you. Last trophy you have to collect is the Late Boomer trophy, and then the platinum is yours. In the mode called Bomber, you have to collect 15 bombs in your inventory, so that means no using them. The problem with that is that in this mode, your only weapon is your bombs. So, WTF then? Well, this makes the trophy the hardest one of them all, because now you have to use one bomb to hopefully collect 2 or 3 at a time. There are these ships that drop bomb tokens when they are destroyed, so this is how you achieve this. However, you need to wait till multiple ones cross paths, and even then sometimes one bomb won't destroy the ship and give you the tokens. This one is frustrating, and I had to rewind a lot in order to do this one. This will be the trophy that will make or break you as to whether you get the platinum. I can't imagine how people got this in the HD version where you have no rewind. It almost seems impossible. Super Stardust Portable conquered. I really hope that other portable versions of games from the PS3 era show up like Little Big Planet or Maw Nation Racers. Fat Princess, anybody? I'm not holding out for Gran Turismo or MotorStorm because the music licensing, but maybe one day it could appear too, who knows. But we got our beloved Super Stardust, and that's awesome. So if you have played a bunch of cool modes, conquered every planet in arcade mode, probably used the rewind feature many times, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You will be awarded the Super Stardust Hero Platinum Trophy for Super Stardust Portable. Overall, I think this trophy run is one of the best in this video, complemented by an amazing game. Asterisk, this trophy run is not unique, it was taken straight from Super Stardust HD, but if you can't beat it in that game, it's much easier to get 100% of the trophies in this version. You get to explore everything in this game that it has to offer with its arcadey goodness, and it serves as a pretty good test of your skills. If you haven't even heard of this game, it's a good time to check it out and enjoy getting a platinum trophy for a once popular but now underserved genre.
Get you? Get you?
私、こういうものですが。
こちらです。
We are double dipping with the Ape Escape love in this video. Ape Escape Academy is a very weird game in premise, but the PSP system was the right place for these smaller experimental Ape Escape games. You have Ape Quest, Ape Escape Racing, Saru Saru Big Mission where you play as a Pippo helmet and you attach yourself to monkeys and control them. Yeah, so an ape game where you play as part of an academy and participate in mini-game competitions doesn't sound too out of place when you put it that way. I am down for some Monkey Mario Party, and it even has a card-based sequel that we will cover one day. But Ape Escape Academy is here in this video because it has a platinum trophy up for grabs, and you're going to have to be the ultimate mini-game player as you have to graduate each class professors. I wouldn't call them professors. They're the Freaky Monkey 5. I didn't know they moonlit as professors. Anyways, let's waste no more time and see if this wacky game turns into a platinum trophy run that's good. Welcome to class, my simian scholars. Excuse me, please quiet down. Please, quiet down. Sit down, you little fart knockers. That's better. This trophy run is an easy one to pass and get the platinum trophy, all things considered, except for one or two things that are going to have to be at the mercy of the dreaded RNG. That is not in your favor and could complicate things. Most of the trophies are going to be collected exclusively in Academy mode, so welcome to the Academy. You get a trophy right away for starting your studious minigame filled journey. Then you collect another missable trophy every time you just meet one of the new freaky monkey professors. And here are the trophies on screen now. I think I had White Monkey one time for one of my university classes. Or maybe he just kind of looked like him. It was calculus. It's been a while. So at the start of the class, you get a trophy, and then you get another unmissable trophy each time you pass their class. Each monkey will have a certain requirement to pass their class, and it comes in the form of how many lines you make on a tic-tac-toe board. Sorry, no 50% passes in this one. You need to succeed the randomly given mini games and put an O on the board. If you fail, you put an X down. You are O's in this tic-tac-toe game, so you'll need to make sure you're making lines by winning the right mini games to do so. In the beginning, the mini games are in the easiest forms, or the AI is picking their nose and really not that smart. They didn't get the good peak point helmets, that's for sure, but later classes will throw much more difficult minigames at you with smarter AI and more difficult goals for you to achieve. So you might put some X's down on the board more frequently. Of course, rewind, you can use that, and honestly, for this one I'm not going to throw my nose up all snooty like, because rewind really comes in handy for some later trophies. And ideally, you want to beat every minigame and put all 9 O's on the board to help you unlock every professor's special game. Each professor has one, and there's a trophy for playing each one for the first time. To unlock a professor's secret game, you have to hit all 3 golden spectre coins, which are hidden randomly underneath the minigames on the tic-tac-toe board. You get a very brief glimpse of their location at the beginning of the class, and then you have to get lines that strike through the coins in order to get them. Generally, beating every minigame and getting the O's is the best foolproof strategy. Otherwise, you'll have to beat the minigames where these spectre coins are hiding. Then you get to play a special exclusive minigame you won't see in the regular class selection. Once you have all these trophies mentioned already and graduate from all the Freaky Monkey 5's classes, it's time for your final test. Does that make me the leader? Is the trophy you get for defeating Spectre and graduating Ape Academy. The final section is not like the rest, as you have to go through a gauntlet of fighting monkeys, including the Freaky Monkey 5, and eventually Spectre in a grand finale boss fight. I don't want to spoil it too much because it's part of the story, but beat it to get this trophy. The only other thing I'll say about it is that it's a pretty tough final gauntlet and level. Now, while you are doing all of this, you also need to pray. Pray that the Pipatron monkeys don't decide to sleep in and show up early. I wasn't so lucky and didn't get the class disruption trophy until it was my last one that I needed. The red, yellow, and blue Pipatrons will invade one of your classes randomly, and you play a minigame against one of them, so this trophy is completely down to RNG, everyone's favorite thing in the world. I'm speaking relatively considering I got the platinum trophy in 5 hours, but yeah, it's RNG by definition. But there are other people who have played this game for 10 hours in the worst case scenario and didn't have them appear. I would be very annoyed in that situation. Very, very annoyed. Hopefully you have better luck than that if you're going for this platinum. There is also a level of RNG that comes into play when you're trying to unlock all the mini games, although it's not as bad as that. There are 3 trophies to look out for, one for playing 20 games, one for playing 40 games, and then one for winning at least once in every minigame, in which there is a grand total of 47 of them. Some of the minigames have parts, and yes, you have to win each of the different parts to get them unlocked. You can play the minigames again in the game collection part of the main menu, but you have to unlock them all in Academy mode anyway, so it's really only good for revisiting the ones you lost in. So to unlock the minigames fully, you have to play them once in the classes, and this is where the RNG aspect comes in. They have to show up on the minigame board, and some of these minigames might not pop up right away. The best thing to do is to choose the class, see what minigames appear, and then if the ones you're missing didn't appear, rewind back to the main menu and choose the class again. This will re-roll all the new minigames and you can see if the ones you're missing show up. Keep in mind that the minigames with parts only appear in certain classes. It's easy to tell with Ask Darwin and Monkey Drill because each part corresponds with one class. Like part 2 is the second class with Blue Monkey, part 3 is the third class, etc. You'll not only need to unlock all the minigames, but remember you have to win in them, so do whatever it takes to get the W so you can get these 3 trophies done and dusted. As a reward for unlocking all the minigames, you unlock Survival Mode. Now you can collect the Can't Catch Me trophy, which requires you to simply just try the mode out. This mode will throw minigame after minigame after minigame until you fail, so it's a fun reward all things considered. But the trophies certainly don't stop there now that you have beaten every minigame. You need to beat them to the point where you're setting high scores. There are 2 trophies you can get for setting a certain number of minigame records. In this case, we need 15 minigame records, and it's not as hard as it sounds. Many of these records that are preset into the game by default are a joke. Like the monkey shooting game is 1 ape. The space rock paper scissors is 1 ape. The monkey rose minigame is only 5 roses. Plus you can cheese a ton of these with the rewind feature to get better scores anyways. We ain't setting Olympic records here. All these records are so easy to pull off, it's comical, but you do need to set 15 of them. And then there are the monkey figurines, which also have an element of RNG like many things in this game, but thankfully won't be too much of a problem. We have 3 monkey figurine trophies, and instead of collecting the game's total 300, holy, we only need 10, and 1 of the teacher. Thank God. Imagine trying to collect all 300 in this game. That's the kind of stuff that haunts you in your sleep. These figurines will show up randomly whether you are ready or not for them, so you have to be aware at all times and remember to grab them when they appear. At the low count of 10, you will pretty easily get 10 of these as you play through the classes. In order to get the figurine from the teacher, you just simply have to beat their special game to unlock it. Something you're going to do anyway. Thankfully, we need such a minuscule amount of these figurines because there's enough RNG to deal with already in this trophy run, and that would have been really grindy and over the top. Thankfully, that's not the case. These final trophies in the run are all trophies you can get inside of individual minigames themselves, giving us some cool goals to try and achieve. You can get these while you play the games in Academy mode, but there's a few that require you to play them inside the game collection menu. And that's really handy for going back and playing individual games when you unlock them. We'll start with the one that takes us to the place where it all began. The nostalgic trophy is for replaying the basic training minigame in the Ape minigame. You will need to do it in the game collection in order to get the trophy, but it's always good to get a refresher on the essentials. Just play it one more time. There are 2 trophies for 2 of the Professor's special minigames we talked about earlier. The first one is the minigame called Gran Turismonkey. Yes, some other PlayStation IPs do make an appearance in this game. So for this Gran Turismo themed minigame, we have to get the Scrub-a-Dub-Dub trophy, where you need to get the record time by clearing your car like you work for an F1 pit crew. The record is 20 seconds, and man, my hands hurt. And I think my controller took permanent damage trying to do this. You have to mash X to clear the car, then when the shininess bar stops going up, you need to move to the next side by pressing the circle button. You have to mash that button hard, bro, and have good timing for when you need to move to the next side and get the record time of 20 seconds. Then you get to be a hotshot for everybody's favorite game of golf. Yes, it's aping Hot Shots Golf or Everybody's Golf, depending on where you live in the world. For the Why Play by the Rules trophy, you have to activate the ball launcher in every Monkey's Golf which is actually really cool. You essentially have to shoot your golf ball into the pocket of this red ball launcher, which is awesome because it will rain down golf balls onto the point targets and handily help you win the minigame. But the trophy wants you to just activate it, so aim properly and rewind if you miss. Now we have Monkey Soccer, which is my favorite minigame from Ape Escape 2, but it is very, very different and simplified here. They Call Me The Wall wants you to completely shut out your opponent, so you have to make the score 5-0 by the end of it. It's not hard to do really, but if one sneaks by the goalie literally, you can just rewind to fix it. Not much consequence for this one. Even easier than that, you have the Professional Balancing Act trophy for stacking 5 bombs at one time in the Bomba Bunir minigame. Damn, that's a mouthful. It's very easy to do, and you just have to move underneath the bombs as they're falling. Try not to drop any on the floor because they will limit where you can move until they blow up. For this next set of minigames, your monkey needs brains and bronze. For the One Smart Monkey trophy, you need brains, and you're going to need to answer 10 questions correctly in a game of either Ask Darwin or Monkey Drill. These are 2 different quiz-based minigames, with one being trivia and the other being math-based. You probably need to do this in the game collection menu because the minigames are shortened while playing them in the classes. You need to get the answer right 10 times in a row for this one. Now for some brawn. Try Not to Scratch the Paint is for hammer tossing this heavy ass UFO 130 meters, which is clear of the record for this minigame. Load up the UFO throw minigame and do it perfectly so you straight up launch this bad boy. Once you clear 130 meters, the trophy and the record will be yours. And lastly, we have one last minigame trophy to cover called Better Than a Banana Split. You have to get a strike in Monkey Bowling, but specifically play the minigame from the game collection menu. So you have the specific stipulation here, but otherwise it's just bowling. If you know how it works, it's just a matter of lining up the shot perfectly so you can knock all the pins down on your first shot. Not hard at all, and that will bank your very last trophy for your simian semester. I'm proud of you. I promised I would do this. I know I'm embarrassing you. Breathe, JR. Breathe. Okay, run along. Go for it. Time to collect your diploma. So if you have set Olympic records in a bunch of mini games, graduated classes from these wacky professors, even the dean of the school, become the top monkey in school, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You will be awarded the Monkey Business Graduate Platinum Trophy for Ape Escape Academy. Overall, I like this trophy run, and admittedly got lucky with it, but there are definitely some issues with RNG in it. It's a pretty fun list all things considered, until you have to get the remaining mini games, and definitely not any fun if you haven't faced against the Pippotron monkeys during regular play. For the people who had to grind out 5 extra hours for these damn Pippotrons, I'm really sorry. But otherwise, I like aspects of this platinum run and think the portion of it is pretty damn good. Just the RNG element that makes this thing a bit of a bummer. Oh well, every monkey has a different experience with school, so it is what it is.
Want to ask me a question? Ask me.
You know Sir Dan?
Yes, I knew Sir Dan. Skinny guy, bad teeth, one-eye wall. Disgusting.
That Dan, always getting into trouble. Well, I mean, what do you expect? Hanging around in graveyards. He was an odd fellow, clubbing zombies with chicken drumsticks. Hey! What's the geraniums? What have I told you?
Man, they released the original game on PS1. They did that. I played this one for this video. I already got footage for it, so I gotta go through with it. We are playing MediEvil Resurrection for this video. That's our next platinum trophy. I I really have a hard time describing this PSP launch game. When people ask me about it, it's not a remaster of the original, and it's not a one-to-one remake either. It's not a reboot of the game because some parts of the game are identical to the original, but then there are lots of creative liberties made on the stories and a bunch of levels. I guess it's a reimagining. I'm sorry, I really don't know what to describe this game. It's MediEvil Resurrection. You know or you don't know. And all I know is that I had a pretty great trophy list and platinum worth going for. But it's this version of the game and I don't personally care for it at all. I just don't jive with some of the things they changed and how many creative liberties they took. But you know what? I did it. Here we go anyways. Yeah, you know what? The platinum run for this game is pretty damn good. Maybe not as good as the one in MediEvil Remake, but still very good. These trophies take advantage of some of the game's finer moments and a few of Dan's wackier weapons and armors he can acquire. I also think the trophies take advantage of some of the new story elements added to Resurrection pretty well. I almost sound disappointed. It's good. It's actually good. Despite there being 27 unmissable story trophies clogging up the list of 40 trophies, the remaining ones you still have to get result in a fulfilling platinum run. There's a lot of trophies that make sense to add in a list like this, and they went outside the box and didn't give us a full repeat of the trophy list from the remake. Let's start by covering the easiest one to get. We have the Dan the Scribe trophy, which you can get right in the very first level, Dan's Crypt, where we have our hero of exaggerated legend waking up. You'll need to seek out and read Dan's journal, which is not far from where Sir Dan woke up. Take your first left from his bed and the journal is right there. Read it, get the trophy, okay. There are lots of Dan trophies in here, and here's another one. Dan the Unstoppable is for finding 8 health bottles that increase your max health. On screen are the levels which contain a health bottle, and note that you'll also get the Feeling Refreshed trophy after you acquire 4 health bottles. But we are working towards getting all 8 of them, and if you are having trouble finding them, consult the guide below for locations. Now 2 of them are obtained in a special way that also ties to our next 2 trophies. Another aspect of completing this game is by filling up all the chalices and collecting all the rewards in the Hall of Heroes. You can get 2 trophies out of it too, with the Chalice of Souls trophy for finding and filling 7 chalices, and the Chalice of Heroes trophy for getting all 15 of them in the game. There are 2 parts to the process of collecting these. You have to find the chalice itself somewhere in the level, and then you have to fill it up with the blood of your enemies. Every time you defeat an enemy, it will fill a certain percentage of the chalice, so you need to make sure you complete these 2 requirements before you complete the level, especially if you want to claim the reward in the Hall of Heroes. Completing every cup will give you a reward itself in the form of a cool armor or new weapon or something to add to Dan's kit. And 2 of them are those said health bottles that you need to get for the Dan the Unstoppable trophy. I love the awesome rewards you get from all the champions here, but I wish they didn't look so damn unsettling in this reimagining. What the hell were they thinking with this one? But yeah, collect all the filled up chalices and visit the Hall of Heroes to pop some trophies. Moving along the map, we are going to have some trophies specific to some different places, and pretty early on, we're in the Hilltop Mausoleum, a very iconic level in the game. Dan the Exterminator asks you to, well, exterminate 5 rats in the basement of this level. Why can't we leave them alone? No one alive lives here right now. It's not a problem. We will need a pummel type weapon to do it, like the club that you can find in a few spots, or if you have the hammer on you from the Hall of Heroes, you can just equip that and take care of a few rats that way. All 5 rats are found in the basement part where you're finding runes to move through new places in the mausoleum, and they pop out of the walls. Splat some rats, you monster, and get your trophy. Was it worth it, huh? Yes, it was. It was worth it. Here is another one on a specific level, and some people mix this one up and wonder why they didn't pop the trophy. Dan the Merciful begs you to be a pacifist and finish the Sleeping Village level without harming the currently deranged and cursed townsfolk. They can and will attack you, but if you want the trophy, you can't damage them at all. Simply ignore them and move along with your day. Easier said than done for some tighter spaces in the level, but just do it. Where people get mixed up is on the first time you visit this place, this is the level Welcome to the Sleeping Village, which is not where you unlock this trophy. It must be done in the later level called The Sleeping Village. It's easy to make the mistake here. But it's the second time you visit the place in the story. Don't mix them up and wonder why you've completed it and didn't get the trophy to pop. The Sleeping Village, not Welcome to the Sleeping Village. Returning to levels you've been to happens a few times in the game, and I like that aspect of it. You'll return there and it's slightly different the second time you come in. The next two trophies surround a very iconic piece of armor Sir Dan can equip. You have the Dan the Dragon trophy for defeating an enemy by breathing fire, and of course you can only do this using the awesome dragon plate armor. You get the armor by defeating the Dragon King boss in the level Dragon Island, and then you can equip it and breathe fire on all your enemies. Once you have that, head back to Dan's crypt so you can grab a secret that will be the catalyst for you to get the Dan the Famished trophy. The description says you need to eat some cooked chicken, but there's a few small steps that you need to do this. Now that you have the dragon armor, you can walk over this lava patch in Dan's crypt and collect the chicken drumstick weapon. How are you able to walk on lava without burning to death? Oh, dragon armor. Sir Dan is already dead, by the way, but we ain't trying our luck, no burning up today. Then once you have the chicken drumstick, throw it at any enemy so that you turn them into a cooked chicken. You can even pick it up. It's very delicious for this very delicious trophy. But Dan, poor Dan, doesn't have taste buds. Even with a restriction put in place, this next trophy is still pretty tame. Dan the Invincible is the next one up, and you have to finish a level without taking damage, with the restriction being it can't be in Dan's crypt and the Gallowmere Plains. These two levels that they mentioned don't have enemies and few ways you can actually hurt yourself, so the trophy list sees through your scheme and says no, you can't, not these ones. You'll have to do it on another level, and I just did it very carefully through the graveyard level. When you have some more weapons from the Hall of Heroes, you can fight all the enemies from afar or slay them with one hit. It'll be easier than doing it with the stock stuff Dan has at the beginning of the level and the beginning of the game. But you can get this on any level you like except for Dan's Crypt and the Gallowmere Plains. No freebies. We have finally reached our last two trophies, and these ones I find the most time-consuming trophies in the list other than completing the story. Maybe not so much this first one called Testing the Waters, but definitely the second trophy that builds off of this one. There is a carnival section in the Gallowmere Plains where you can access a whole bunch of minigames, and for the trophy you have to play each type of minigame at least once in the carnival. There's a lot of good carny type stuff here. Shooting gallery, whack-a-mole is a classic, the pit of death is always a hit with the kids. Wait, the fuck? The pit of death? This carnival is out of line. I'm shutting it down, but you have to play each of these 8 minigames anyways to get the trophy. And for our last trophy, you'll need to complete some of them more than others. There is a potential to hate this carnival with this next trophy called Winner Winner. Chicken dinner. You need to collect 4 carnival tokens, which are given to you in a special way via these minigames. Carnival tokens are awarded to you for completing every challenge found in any given minigame type. And now that we've played all 8 of them once through, we know that 4 carnival tokens is thankfully only half of the minigame types, which is good because some of these are very aggravating to do. The family-friendly Pit of Death was one of the ones I went the distance because once I had all my good weapons, I was leaving limbs and cheeks all over the battlefield. Really, the camera was fighting me harder than anything they threw at me, so I recommend this one as a start for your 4 token total. Another one I found easy was the Bell Guardian challenges, which require you to make sure all the enemies don't mess with your shit until the time limit is up. When you have the right weapon and artillery, this one becomes easy as well, and you'll do more damage to incoming enemies with the later weapons that are upgraded. That's token number 2. Now for token number 3, I decided to do the target shooting challenges, and that's because I could rewind. But I must say that the final 3 challenges do get damn tricky, and you can't miss too many targets or you won't get enough points in the end. You have a point total you need to hit, and by the last 3, that's not a lot of room for error. Doing this back on original PSP hardware without a rewind must have been pretty annoying, and certainly a challenge for people. And then there's token number 4, and I decided to go with the Weapon Masters challenges once I got all the different types from the story or the Hall of Heroes. These challenges restrict you to using one chosen weapon, so they are for the most part short and will have to be beatable with the amount of ammo you can hold. However, there will be some instances where there are more enemies than your ammo count, and you have to find clever ways to defeat multiple enemies with one shot. This obviously doesn't apply to your swords and hammers and whatnot, and you can have fun slaying anybody and everyone. That got me the 4th carnival token to get for this trophy. Maybe you will take a liking to some of the other minigame types, and it's up to you which 4 you want to complete. There is a reward when you complete all 8 of them and get 8 tokens, so if you're up for that, go nuts. But I was content with getting this last trophy for this trophy run, which I will reiterate is a really good thought out one. I just wish I was playing the original MediEvil instead. Knowing my completionist tendencies, I probably would have done this anyways, stupid brain, but if you've collected 4 carnival tokens, collected all rewards from the Hall of Heroes, stopped the evil Zarok from taking over the lands, put up with this annoying one-eyed pixie elf cretin in your noggin, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You will be awarded the Hero of Gallowmere Platinum Trophy for MediEvil Resurrection. Overall, I can hate all I want on this version of the game, but I can't talk smack about the trophy selection. It might be one of the best out of all the MediEvil games, including the remake and original trophy lists. All of these trophies named Dan the are all cool. I like it. They take advantage of what you can do in the game very nicely. MediEvil is filled with nice surprises if you look hard enough, and I feel like these trophies are pointing you in the right direction. Biases put aside, this was a neat excursion and worth putting this platinum trophy in this video. Now, I'm not going to act like I would have chosen this version over the PS1 version for this video if I had the option, so it's a damn good thing they dropped Resurrection first. But now that the bones rolled in this way, I had some fun playing MediEvil Resurrection. God, I need to wash my mouth out with soap for saying that.
Hey, Dustball, have you ever thought about being a cop? Oh yeah, like all the time. First I'd arrest every guy in the whole world. Even I had to jump from car to car or use crazy weapons. And then I'd have every woman to myself. And I'd fly them to Vegas and marry every single woman in the world. And then I'd take them all over to my love boat. But then I'd realize I married every woman, even the ugly ones. So I'd escape on my motorcycle with uglies chasing me, screaming, "Hi, but I have a great personality!"
Pursuit Force for PSP. It has personality.
The addition of this next title made me excited. Real ones know all about this, but now more people have the opportunity to experience it. This romp of a game with action, goodness is equivalent to mashing together Die Hard, Fast and Furious, maybe a little bit of some Jason Statham movies, put it all in a blender and sprinkle a dash of some out-of-date stereotypical humor for seasoning. And you get a pure adrenaline rush that is Pursuit Force. I instantly downloaded it to the console the moment it was available and started reminiscing on all of its chaotic fun. And now, with a platinum trophy up for grabs, I progressed far further into the experience than back when I was a kid. Pursuit Force has a pretty good trophy run, all things considered, even though you don't have to collect all of its highest honors and collect all of its content. But what's here is still good enough to make you feel like you accomplished something. It's plenty challenging enough, even with the rewind feature to aid you, so this combination of trophies they went with gets highest honors in my books. It all starts with these unmissable story trophies on screen now, which outlines the 5 gangs you have to take down to finish the story. These gangs are characters in themselves, and Big Big was wild back then in 2005. Just wild. It's like I'm watching some 90s 2000 movies like Kung Pao, Scary Movie, or other stuff like that, but it's an action-packed Die Hard type story. There are a good variety of missions in this game, whether you're taking down wanted targets, escorting VIPs, shooting down convoys from a helicopter machine gun, pursuing my boat. Heck, one of the missions is exactly like the movie Speed, where if the bus drops to a certain speed, it will blow up. So like I said, there's a great variety here in the missions and a lot of interesting and challenging sections. This game is exhilarating and filled to the brim with high-flying cinematic action. Each crime family is run by a leader, and in mission 6 of every case, you have to capture them and put the gang out on its ass. There are the 5 trophies which are also unmissable while you beat the game. The 5 crime lords are also absolutely wild, and taking them down is not going to be easy. Deadeye and Billy Wilde gave me so much trouble. So much trouble. All 5 of these encounters are very tough missions. As you complete more of the cases and clean up all these gangs, you will also climb the ladder of the Pursuit Force ranks. These are the trophies, and you start off as a lowly sergeant and make your way all the way to commander status before you take out your last leader. With the way the ranks unlock and give you more cases to play, you can't really go off script and complete the cases in any order you want. The game is sort of dictating the way you have to play it, which is unfortunate, but oh well. These are also automatic trophies you get as you complete the game. Pursuit Force was known to be a bit challenging back in the day, and if you're gunning for all the A ranks, it blows the challenge level up to the ceiling. So the grand old question is, do we need these A ranks for the platinum? Yes. Yes you do. But just one. The impressive Report Trophy asks you to earn one single A rank rating on any career case you like. We were spared here, because if it was all the A ranks, it would have been quite a difficult endeavor. But just one? No problem. The first run of missions are very easy to get A ranks on after you learn the ropes, kid. Plus you have the rewind weapon in your back pocket as a powerful weapon for ensuring your success. Of course, for a lot of these missions, even rewind might not help you succeed, as some of these cases are going to be pretty tough. In fact, the Force gave me this not so nice dishonorable award as I got kicked off the Pursuit Force for failing a career mode case. Okay, I'm going to seriously count how many dishonorable trophies we have collected in this video. It's starting to fill up a trophy case that really smells. I particularly had a tough time taking out the gang leaders themselves, which were very tough missions where you needed to use your superpowers at each and every exact right time. So I'm not surprised that I got this trophy. I didn't have to work hard to get it. Now, just because the trophy run asks for 1 A rank, that doesn't give you permission to do the bare minimum for the other missions. You still need to get the new set of wheels trophy, which asks you to unlock 10 vehicles in career mode through good performance. Don't worry, you can still be a B or C student, but you get rewards based on your performance in the mission, and they can be vehicles, so make sure you do decent enough in these missions so you can be awarded at least 10 vehicles in your collection. The vehicles you use in career mode are set for you, but you can use the ones you unlock in other modes we'll discuss later. Another type of reward is the gallery images, and of course there's a trophy, or else I probably wouldn't be bringing them up. Appreciating the arts asks you to view 5 unique images in the gallery menu. So when you are rewarded 5 images after a handful of completed missions, you can collect this trophy. Okay, the fun part of it. Now we have a bunch of action and combo trophies, all done when you're behind the wheel. Keep in mind that this run of trophies has to be done in career mode and they won't pop in the other game modes. Let's start with the most prominent thing you will be doing in this game, which is jumping from car to car extracting extreme justice. The Impound King trophy will be collected pretty quickly as you capture 20 gang vehicles by jumping to them and taking out the gang members in the car. When your current car is on fire and is about to explode, no problem. Just hijack one of the ones in front of you and clear out the riffraff so you can drive in peace. Once you do this 20 times, the trophy is going to pop, and you'll get this trophy probably within the first handful of missions. You're going to be doing a lot of jumping. In the later missions, when the chases get more chaotic, you'll get your first of 2 combo trophies. It'll buff out is the trophy you get for performing your first Brutal Force ×3 combo. You have to ram into 3 different cars in quick succession to get this one. If you wait too long, the combo will reset, so there has to be an abundance of cars in front of you, which is a dangerous situation, but a necessary one. The other one is lethal efficiency, and you have to perform a fatality ×3 combo for the trophy. This just means you have to get 3 kills in a row. The best way to do this is with a machine gun type weapon, or you can take out a bunch of thugs in a row before reloading, or running out of ammo, which means you're gonna switch to your much slower sidearm weapon. There will be plenty of moments with so many enemies on your tail that you'll probably panic and get this trophy naturally. You might even get the combo while you're fighting through on an on-foot section. And on that note, yes, there are on-foot sections in the game, and that leads you in perfectly to our next trophy. If you want, you can shoot the thugs as you have a license to kill, or if you want to get the See You in Court trophy, arrest the 20 gang members instead. When you get close enough to the thug, you can arrest them instead, and it's a much better way to handle these guys from a score perspective. The on-foot stuff is a bit clunky without a second analog stick, but it works, I guess, and it's a nice switch up to the vehicle stuff. It's not the most ideal situation, but when the bad guys are getting away and you need wheels, it's time to commandeer a vehicle from an everyday citizen. It's a necessary evil, and I feel bad for the citizens. I mean, I wouldn't want to be the person driving that car, but you'll get the Citizen's Assist trophy after you take over a civilian's vehicle. I didn't do this often because unless it's a bike or sports car, the civilian vehicles suck. Like, I'm definitely not catching up to the killer 66 Ricers and VTECs with the shitty sedan. I also think it reduces your score, so try not to use it. But if you need it in a pinch, and also because there's a trophy for it, do it. And if it's an emergency, steal that man's car. Alright, when you have increased your combo bar to its max and it's flashing, it's justice shot time, baby. Pull off one for the first time and get the bullet time trophy, where you leap through the air in slow motion and do extra damage with every shot. You can perform the justice shot by switching to an enemy car when the meter is full, and then you can shoot through the air in slow-mo and do extra damage. It's always a sight when performed, and it's super useful for taking down targets later in the game. This is what extreme justice looks like. You can also use the full justice to heal yourself, which makes for an interesting choice between the two depending on the situation at hand. But you'll get the second win trophy the first time you use full justice to recover your health. This will become clutch in some pivotal moments, and you'll need it for some of these missions where they just tear through your health bar like it's nothing. The gang boss fights come to mind. Alright, Commander, here is your last assignment. We have 4 more trophies to recover, and 2 of them are collected inside their own special modes. When you're not completing the career mode, pop into race mode for some fun and aim for the number 1 henchman trophy. You will need to get first place in any race in race mode. Here you can choose any vehicle and any race course that you've already unlocked, and there's a bunch of fun mission objectives here that are in the form of racing through the environment. That is also the case for the time trials and the What's the Rush trophy. After you unlock some time trials, go into time trial mode and work on earning the best time in any time trial challenge. Yes, you need to get the best time, and even the word time trial makes people frown, but getting the best time here is not difficult at all. The driving in this game is not that robust, so as long as you're going fast, you'll clear that best time, don't worry fam. You are a commander now, and you have a nice fleet of fast vehicles at your disposal. These last 2 trophies for the Platinum could have been done in career mode, but they also could be done in any mode as well. Bad with Directions is another trophy that feels dishonorable, and it asks that you purposely go the wrong way in any game mode. Well, I hope purposefully. Just brake, turn around, and go backwards for a bit till the trophy pops. And lastly, Enjoy the Sea Breeze will be your last trophy if you park in a parking space in any mission or mode while racing through the Corsair Bay map. On the beachside highway there is a view of the ocean, and it's pretty nice looking for a PSP game, not gonna lie. There will be a couple spots where you can park your car and get the trophy. This is a nice way to cap off this platinum. You have taken down the biggest gangs in the world, risked life and limb jumping from cars and getting shot at by thugs, and ranked up to be one of the most extreme justice big dogs in the organization. To take a break and park here beside this beachside is quite a beautiful way to cap off this experience. So, congratulations! You will be awarded the Exemplary Service Platinum Trophy for Pursuit Force. Overall, it was a great addition to PS Plus Premium, and the Platinum is a great addition to my trophy collection. There's a nice challenge to it while not going crazy with the trophy requirements, which I dig. I want there to be a couple PS Plus classics out there with very difficult trophy runs that are even tough with the rewind feature, but it didn't need to be this one. This was the right amount of cool trophies, challenge, and fun. I really dug this game, and it's good to know that if I want more extreme justice, there is a sequel platinum run to jump into.
Now is the time for Retribution. Resistance Retribution. Only on PSP.
When it comes to Resistance Plats, before this game stepped into the picture, the only one you could get was Resistance 3. Ooh, actually, now that I'm doing deep research on this, you could also get the Burning Skies Platinum if you have the online pass. Remember those? Ha ha! But anyway, the better portable Resistance game is definitely this one, Resistance Retribution. Our main character, James Grayson, is an absolute joy. Picture the Butcher from The Boys, but he's fighting an alien infestation instead. Grayson is an excellent main character, and no offense to Hale and Capelli, but I think he's my fave. One cool thing to note is that this game has built-in DualShock 3 support, and it goes a long way to making this game feel good to play. The original way you played it back in the day on the PSP was that you moved with the analog, it's not a stick, it's more of a nub, and aiming with the sacred symbols buttons. Seriously, hold triangle to aim up, X to aim down, square for left, and circle for right, unless you're those nasty inverted control people. Nasty. Thank the Lord, Ben Studio developed this controller support built in, because thank you. Bet they didn't understand how clutch it was going to be later. So this game is excellent, full stop, and I hoped they could do this game justice with a great platinum run. Is that what we got? Well... So, this game has a total of 28 trophies, and if you minus the platinum, it's 27. Still with me, right? I know, math. But okay. So, if you also minus the 23 unmissable story trophies, that leaves you with only 4 trophies that you have to collect yourself. Yeah, there's pretty much a trophy for each chapter, so they end up making the vast majority of the trophies put in here. That sucks, honestly, but okay. These 4 trophies must be awesome then, right? I'm sorry to report that what is here kinda sucks too. There is another dishonorable trophy in this video here, and actually now that we're pretty far into the video, there's been quite a bunch of them. A lot of dying on purpose, or me just dying. That's the honest truth. That was an experience is the name, and you just have to die for the first time. Even on easy, I still got this trophy, and that's because this campaign throws the kitchen sink at you. Switching gears, the Cloven Killer trophy asks you to take out 50 enemies, and like I just said, this game just bombards you with them. I slayed 50 Chimera very easily. I got this trophy within the first couple of chapters. It's seriously that easy to get, and it might actually be impossible to complete the game without getting this trophy. Here's another shining example. Omni-Lethal is the trophy for using 10 different weapons, and all the weapons are given to you by the end of the game. Then you just have to use them once in battle, which you will probably naturally do when you run out of ammo and have to switch weapons. Riveting trophy, right? Right? And then, just like that, here is one last trophy. The Soft Spot trophy is yours when you use Auger WS 100 times, according to the trophy description, which I'm not sure if it actually means bullets fired or kills, but it doesn't matter either way because once you get the weapon in your arsenal, it won't be long until you get the trophy. And unfortunately, that's all the trophies. I didn't decide to cover this game in this video just so I could shit on it. I genuinely wanted to talk about this excellent Resistance game, and I was excited to add a Resistance plat to my collection considering the only other platinum I can get is Resistance 3. But it is what it is, just enjoy the game, JR. If you have mowed down wave after wave after wave of Chimera, used some crazy advanced tech weapons, got to experience our charismatic and foul-mouthed boy Grayson in his entirety, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You are awarded the Retribution Paid Platinum Trophy for Resistance Retribution. Overall, if you're looking for the most generic, basic, and milquetoast trophy run, then boy is this the best platinum for you. With such an awesome game where you have a lot of epic moments that could be amplified with some interesting trophies, instead we are working towards 50 kills, using 10 different guns, dying on purpose, and using the auger. Oh yeah, plus the automatic trophies, forgot about those. Yeah, this trophy list sucks, plain and simple. All the fun comes from playing the game and not the platinum experience. Thankfully, something interesting did happen with the trophies post-release, so we have something interesting to talk about after all. And to my knowledge, I think this is the only game that gets this kind of treatment, and that, my friends, is an add-on trophy set. Now, the vast majority of these games came out before the inception of DLC, but during the PSP's lifespan, it kinda tailed into the beginning of the PS3 era, and it could connect with it and do some cool things. One of those cool things is connecting with Resistance 2 and unlocking a brand new way to play the game. Infect mode slightly alters the story so that our chap Grayson starts the story infected with a Chimeran virus, like what happened to our other homie Nathan Hale. Now you get to play the story with regenerative health, immunity to toxic gases, and you can breathe underwater. It's a super beefed up playthrough of the game, and this is the fun stuff that I absolutely want trophies for, in which there are 3 more we can get. But before you get those trophies, you have to turn Infect mode on. Open up the menu that lets you save your game and rewind, and then go to the settings and turn Infect mode on. This will tell you that your PSP was infected by Resistance 2, making that connection to the PS3 game and getting the bonus stuff. Now you are ready to go. You can even start your platinum run in Infect mode if you like, and just do 1 playthrough of the game instead of 2. Our first trophy is called Sentinel Survivor for completing the campaign in Infect mode. Now you're doing a run through of the game with all those perks I mentioned earlier. It's not a good thing being infected, but damn is it good to get the perks of being infected. Grayson becomes an absolute unit and lets you play more on the edge and recklessly because you'll just regenerate your health. The caveat to playing in this mode is that you will need to make manual saves using the PS save system, because in Infect mode there is no means of saving inside of the game itself. If you turn off the game, you'll have to start it all over, so make manual saves. Then we have the Infection Inception trophy for finding all the infected intel, which is a subset of intel added to the game when you activate Infect mode. You can only get these 21 extra collectibles not just because you're in Infect mode, but also some of these intel drops you can only reach with your new superpowers, like being able to breathe underwater and reach places you wouldn't normally be able to get to. The trophy description states to collect all intel in Infect mode, but it only pertains to the 21 infected intel and not the regular ones found in the base game. Lastly, you have the I've Got Your Cure Right Here trophy for defeating 25 enemies with the HE.44 Magnum in Infect mode. This awesome weapon is gifted to you when you activate Infect mode, and it starts with you in your arsenal. You can shoot it at a Chimera, stick the bullet on them, and then activate it whenever you want, catching multiple enemies in the explosion. I love this weapon with all my heart, and getting this trophy is comically easy and comical in general. So now we have collected all the trophies for Resistance Retribution 100%. So I'm happy they added cinnamon sugar to spice up this plain porridge ass trophy list. I enjoy the game, so another playthrough where you're superpowered is not a problem at all in my books. So that's 8 PSP classics and their platinum experiences, and I would have included a few more, or maybe a few more PS1 classics if something interesting didn't happen as I was making this video. We are experiencing the grand return of PS2 classics as I make this video, and you bet I have included some of these new ones. I'm going through 2 of them for now, but more PS2 classics are being added every month, and more of them are getting trophies, so in a future video we can focus on more of them once the stockpile rises. But for now, we absolutely have to talk about this game that leads the charge, and it happens to be one of my favorite franchises of all time.
Oh, this is bad.
The return of our boy on modern hardware did gangbusters in terms of sales and downloads. Who would have thought that making Sly games available on modern hardware in a native way would result in people buying them? Everybody thought that. Literally everybody but Sony. It also shows how much interest there still is in the franchise, so maybe it's time to cut that boy's trip to see the Egyptian pyramid short and bring him back to the spotlight. This new emulator for PS2 classics is going to do wonders for a lot of dormant series, and it's all symbiotic. Sony makes money, and we get to platinum games from our childhood. It's the best kind of relationship. So let's start with getting the platinum for this first Sly Cooper game, which has a completely different and much better trophy run than its PS3 counterpart. I definitely think this trophy run absolutely feels more flavorful than the last time we covered this game. Some cool environmental trophies were just what this platinum run needed, as Sly 1 HD had a grand total of none of those. Now, where you might disagree with me is the inclusion of a trophy for completing Master Thief sprints. Some people just don't like time trials, I get it, but with the new features of the PS2 emulation like Rewind, you might see that they're not so bad after all. We'll break that trophy down when we get there, but other than that, you essentially need to beat the story, get all the clue bottles, open all the vaults, and get all the environmental trophies. Let's get started on all this busy work, but before we do, note that I have more helpful guides in the description below to help you out if you really get stuck. Alright, time to start stealing trophies and whatever else I can get my raccoon paws on. Best place to start is the 5 trophies you get for completing the game essentially, and they are on screen right now. There's a trophy for beating all the jobs in each episode, which essentially boils down to completing each level. For the first 4 worlds, we are swiping 7 keys to unlock the path to fighting the Fiendish 5 member that reigns over the area. In the 5th and final world, we are just making our way through the levels trying to reach Clockwork and shut down his death ray. Clockwork is the main leader of the hate-filled gang, and this beef goes far back in time and makes this revenge-fueled tale awesome. I feel like there might be a bunch of new players with this new release, so I won't spoil too much while going through this guide. On top of completing all the levels, of course, we have to open all the vaults to get all of these trophies on screen now. The rest of the Thievius Raccoonus pages are all stashed in 19 vaults we have to open. Every hub world has them except for the ones where you have to beat up the metal Big Bird. Every on-foot level will have a number of clues you have to find, and Bentley won't be able to give you the vault code until you find all of the clues in the level. An easy trophy to get is the Get a Clue trophy, where you need to collect 5 clue bottles, which you can handily do in the first level after the tutorial. Also note that you won't be able to open your last vault until you defeat the last boss and finish the story. Then you can go back and claim the last page for the family book. If you're having trouble with a certain level's clue bottles, what you can do is unlock the operation blueprints from the vaults, and then you'll be able to see the bottle locations in your Binocucom going forward. The blueprints will always be given to you from the 3rd vault in every area, and then finding the rest of the bottles becomes trivial and you won't need an outside guide. There are also some trophies you unlock for collecting and using new Cooper family techniques that are given to you with every page you collect from the vaults. First trophy you can get is the Share What's Mine trophy for defeating 2 or more enemies with the same mine. After you open your 7th vault, you will receive Rob McCooper's patented explosive hat technique, which can be thrown down and used as a mine. Then you just need to place it in the path of 2 enemies and boom, double kill. This next technique is extremely useful. No More Beaches for Sly is the trophy for discovering Suzanne Cooper's water safety technique in your 10th open vault. Now when you fall in water, you won't lose a horseshoe or drown. That is helpful. There is even one for falling off ledges, making you way less likely to die. You get the Super Cooper trophy when you open your 14th vault and discover how to do Sir Augustine of Cooper's Defy Gravity technique. Now you can throw yourself off of cliffs for fun and you will just pop back up to where you fell. Both of these are seriously useful power-ups. Lastly, when you get Brusso Coop's hacking technique, you can use it to unlock the Knowing is Half the Battle trophy. Go Joe! This new ability for your Binocucom lets you see the names of all the grunts in the level, which is pretty cool. But for the trophy to pop, you need to see 10 different enemies' names using the new upgraded Binocucom. All of these new cool abilities are one of my favorite parts of the game, with the other being our next subject of trophies. The boss fights. Damn, do I love the boss fights, and there is a trophy for beating each and every one of them. The Fiendish Five, the gang that stole the Thievius Raccoonus and tried to end the Cooper family legacy. Your main goal in this game is to take down each and every one of them, and each fight is different from the last. Especially Miss Ruby's boss, because it is essentially a rhythm game fight to the death. You fight the final member Clockwork on a jetpack as you have to bob and weave through obstacles while shooting his vulnerable spots. All 5 of these boss fights are epic and you will have a good time with them. There's one more automatic story trophy after you beat the game called Oh No He Didn't, and the reason I'm talking about it at all is because as of recording this video, it looks like it's not popping for everyone. There's a lot of people who have reported not getting it after finishing the story, and they should, because it's definitely an automatic story moment. That's a shame, but hopefully they can get a quick patch in, and I'll update the description of the video if they have totally fixed it. For me, I had no problems with the trophy popping, so it's not happening to everyone, but it is happening to some, and I hope it gets fixed pronto. What I really like about this version's trophy set as opposed to the Sly Collections version is that there are now a bunch of cool environmental trophies to grab, making it fun to complete levels again for the umpteenth time with a different goal in mind. Admittedly, some of these are pretty basic and I do them anyways, but some of them are pretty cool as well. The first trophy is one of those basic ones though, and it's in the first level of the Tide of Terror chapter. The trophy is called A Thief Heeds No Warning, and you have to destroy 4 signs in the level, a stealthy approach. I literally got this in the very first section without even jumping around the big gate. There are 2 beside the bushes, 1 beside the ladder, and then you just have to find 1 more. Very easy and basic. But for the Nimble Solutions trophy on the level The Fire Down Below, I never even tried completing the level like this. You have to complete the level without grabbing any hooks, which is mainly in this section here where you have to run on this contraption and get the hooks to move on a conveyor belt. Instead of using the hooks to progress, all you have to do is jump on this little platform here, and then you can get up to the gears above and continue through the level. That is not only great for the Master Thief Sprint, we'll get to that later, but also blew my mind. Probably going to use this on my next playthrough because I think I'm a speedrunner of this game, but I'm not. But I'm going to use it thinking I'm a speedrunner. For the next one, I have done it before, but now we can get a trophy for it. You have the Charming the Library trophy for completing a cunning disguise without using the barrel. Now I tried doing this later in the game using Sly Cooper's shadow technique and the Huckleberry Cooper's upgrade, but it didn't work. They still detected me. So you need some horseshoes so you can tank some hits and then run past the turrets. In the middle of the level, there is also a shortcut right here if you leave the stack of books next to this bookcase, and then you will skip a portion of the level. As long as you have a horseshoe on you, you can take a hit and then take advantage of temporary invulnerability. Make sure you go in to the level with a gold horseshoe on your back and close to 99 coins so you can regain another one while playing the level. Then this next trophy is really the one that broke my brain while trying to do it. There is the Through the Fire and Planks trophy in the Gunboat Graveyard, where you need to take a shortcut over flaming debris by using the Crow's Nest. The Crow's Nest is this part of the ship at the beginning of the level where you have these 3 ropes leading to the upper deck of the ship where you can get further up and stand on top of the pole. Then you need to do a leap of faith through these flaming debris coming out of the water and land on a platform behind it. This was a trial and error ass trophy, fam. I found with a lot of my jumps I just didn't have enough momentum to make it, or I didn't jump at the right angle. The best thing you can do is jump from the dangling rope onto the top of the pole and use the momentum to push you into your next double jump onto the platform across the way. This took a bunch of tries and attempts before I could actually stick the landing and make the jump, getting the trophy in the process. I never thought this would be possible to do, so I'm really pleased with the way some of these trophies were handled. When we get to Mugshot's compound after making our way through the first level, we can enter the Boneyard Casino and start making some serious money. This is where I farm my lives and horseshoes. But we can also get the Sleight of Hand trophy if we are sneaky enough. There are 4 casino enforcers right in the beginning of the level, and the trophy wants us to take them out without being detected. That may sound easy, but we can't fully sneak up on them like we can in Sly 2. As soon as you get close, they get alerted and the others come running. So I waited until I got Rob McCooper's patented explosive hat from one of the vaults and used the mines to blow up the guards as they walked by. You can try doing it without it, using the rewind if you mess up, but I found this way much easier. Now that you have broken your way into the joint, we have 3 trophies to get in the 3 remaining levels. Starting with Back Alley Heist, we have the What a Pain trophy for destroying 7 panes of glass. Right when you start the level, there are 2 small ones and 1 big one, so now you just need 4 more. Break those and then make your way to the midpoint of the level where you can find more of them. If I'm not mistaken, there are about 8 or 9 panes of glass in the whole level, so you have a small cushion if you somehow miss one. Next, we head to one of my favorite levels in the game, straight to the top. I just like how circular the level is, and that your main objective is right where you start the level. But for the Lookout Below trophy, you have to drop 5 of these hanging cars that are scattered throughout the path. Considering each of them have a clue bottle on them, you're going to have to find them anyways, so it's another easy trophy that you can get pretty quickly. Then the final trophy is called The Perfect Date, when you meet up with the lovely Carmelita in 2 to Tango. For this trophy, you have to be careful and beat the level without taking damage or falling. So no getting shock blasted, no falling off rooftops, or getting caught by the guards with the comically big guns. You'll have to do this flawlessly. On my first attempt, I literally fell off the roof on my first jump, so I took a do-over. Then I beat it on the second try. It's not hard to do, you just have to be careful. Or, of course, you could use the rewind. That's a strategy too. Okay, things get a little bit spookier with not just the location. We have the Must Have Been the Ghosts trophy for defeating all the voodoo guards in the level, the dreaded swamp path, without being detected. This trophy doesn't start until much later in the level when you start encountering these flashlight guys roaming around. There is 1 stationary and the rest in the final section of the level. Since you have to beat these without being detected, this is another job for the Hat Mine. This will get the job done easier. Then we have the Ectoplasmic Slasher trophy in the level A Grave Undertaking. This trophy sounds difficult with the stipulation of defeating 5 ghosts in a single attack, but it's not that tough because there's a spot where you can get it done easy. When you get to the section with the 3 ghost-producing tombstones, all you have to do is evade the ghosts until a bunch of them spawn and mob up together. Then, when you have a nice mob of them chasing you, just slap them all with your cane and you'll get this trophy very easily. Now we have the Sly Be Nimble, Sly Be Quick trophy, and this one can be a bit finicky. During the chase scene with the serpent dragon beast thing, I'm not quite sure what it is, to be honest, but during that chase scene, you need to jump over all the candles that appear. Normally, I would just give them a whack with the cane, but now I have to purposefully slow down and jump in between each of them so it counts that I hopped over the candles like Jack. The trigger for whether you jumped over it or not can be a little tricky, so I had to use the rewind to go back and try again until the trophy finally popped. Maybe I really did miss it, but I swear I was doing the jumping right. Whatever, I got it in the end. Then the final trophy in the Vicious Voodoo episode is called Slightly Pacifist for beating the Descent into Danger level without defeating any enemies or destroying any alarms. A pacifist's run indeed. You have to dodge enemies and avoid being detected for the entire level, and some enemies are going to be in your way as you want to go around them. This is a good time to use the decoy to distract guards and enemies and then just go around them. The main one that gave me trouble was this guard watching over a candle that you need to put out in order for a sliding rail to appear. You need the decoy to get the guard's attention, and then the guard needs to break the candle at the same time. Maybe one of the more trickier trophies in the run? Could be. Sure. But if you are careful and use the rewind feature, it's really not that difficult to collect the trophy. Now, we just have 3 more trophies to unlock in the Fire in the Sky chapter with our good buddy, the Panda King. We have the more annoying one of the bunch first, with the Seen and Wanted trophy in the level The Unseen Foe. Contrary to the way Sly likes to do his missions, we now have to alert every flashlight guard and set off every alarm we come across. In the grand scheme of things, not a big deal, but it can be sort of annoying with the monkey guards or whatever they are. I think they're monkeys. You have to get close to them, and once they see you, you can proceed to tallywhack them. For the alarms, just activate them. Once you set off the alarm in the vertical tunnel where you have to jump over the lasers, you should get the trophy. For this next trophy, I always do it anyways. Over at the Flaming Temple of Flame level, you will get to this section with a bunch of monkeys training on top of poles. Well, you know what? This session's over. You have to disturb all these Mugu monkeys by smacking them with your cane. You have to jump and then cane whack them at the top of your jump in order to reach them, and even then you might miss. Keep trying this from a heightened elevation, no matter where you can find it, and then hit them and do this until they're all gone. Finally, the Setting the Mood trophy is a complete joke. Start the level Duel of the Dragon, get up to this first area here with the enemy, and then launch these 2 fireworks right here. That's the trophy. Launching 2 small fireworks so you can get 2 pink explosions. Yep, that's the trophy. It's that easy. I guess they didn't want to do the whole don't get hit by Carmelita thing again, but okay then, sure. Okay, now for the challenging part of the run. Now you have to try and get the Speedius Thievius trophy by completing 10 Master Thief sprints. They are time trials that unlock in each on-foot level once you complete the level and open the vault. You hit the hourglass and then the race is on. It's very similar to Crash Bandicoot time trials, except there is nothing here to stop the clock. The time will continue to go down. So while I was trying to beat these times, I just stuck to the levels in the first 2 episodes, Tide of Terror and Sunset Snake Eyes. Some of these times are going to be pretty tight, even if you do a perfect run like the first level of both areas in Wales and Mesa City, where I had about a second left on the clock. Thankfully, some of them will be easier thanks to shortcuts like the levels of Fire Down Below and A Cunning Disguise. The key to making sure you beat all these times is that you absolutely can't get spotted. If you do, the time rolls down faster, so no alarms and no being detected under any circumstance. What helped me prepare for these runs was watching YouTube videos of people who have done it before. They gave me an idea of when I can use the roll technique to save time, or when I could skip sections with a well-timed jump. As long as I could match their pace or do it better, then the time trial was pretty much guaranteed. Plus, the rewind feature comes in handy when you mess up a jump or miss a ledge. Being able to recover in that way can help you brute force the time trial, so long as you had a good start. So now you have all the tools and the knowledge to get this trophy in your collection, but I won't outright say this will be easy for everyone. You still need to be good at the game to beat these, even with the advantage of rewinding. Good luck on this trophy, and Godspeed, my raccoon friend. And with that last trophy swiped, we have completed yet another platinum for the first Sly Cooper game. Sure, there might be some hiccups when it comes to the emulation for it, but having a native version of Sly 1 on modern hardware is a great thing, and I hope they can do this for Ratchet & Clank as well. But if you have speediest your way through some time trials, collected all the vaults again, did some really cool environmental trophies, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You will be awarded a Cooper's Pride Platinum Trophy for the PS2 Classics version of Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Overall, I personally think that this version of Sly 1 or Sly 3 has the best platinum in the series, and it's also a toss-up as to which is the hardest because they both have some form of time trials. However, I personally lean to Sly 3 on that one because it does not have a rewind function. Whether you like time trials or not, I have to give the edge to this platinum in terms of enjoyability, simply because you don't have to lug out the PS3 or settle on streaming it. This version of Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus is an excellent way to experience this game and get the platinum trophy, even with a few emulation hiccups. As excited as I am to play Sly 2 Band of Thieves in this new format, I must say I hope they save it for a rainy day. There are so many great PS2 games that absolutely need to be re-released on modern hardware, like Ape Escape 3, the Ratchet & Clank PS2 games, the PS2 God of War games. There is a ton of games to choose from, and I imagine Sony will glacially slowly start giving us a bunch of bangers from yesteryear.
Star Wars: The Clone Wars, T for Teen.
And now, we'll finish off this video with another Disney game. Well, this game was made before Disney acquired LucasArts and the IP, but you get what I mean. Star Wars: The Clone Wars is a great game set in the prequel trilogy with a bit of adaptation of parts of the movie and wholly new sequences. You'll get to play as Mace Windu, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Anakin Skywalker in different parts of the story. I'm not saying this is a great game without any faults. I mean, the ground combat is a bit stiff, but the legendary and unfortunately defunct Pandemic Studios made this. The vehicle combat is divine, and it's clear that this game helped the studio cut their teeth and come back making the two highly revered Battlefront games. So this game demands respect, and it has a banging trophy run to boot. May the Force be with you as we cover this final platinum experience. The only thing I wish this trophy run had were some cool environmental trophies, because there are some cool moments in the story where we could complete the sections in an interesting way, But that's mostly my criticism of the list, and it's pretty fun otherwise. You'll be carving a decent chunk of the trophies out of the list with the 16 unmissable mission trophies, which there is one for completing each mission. Plus there's the unmissable Padawan trophy for killing a single enemy, so the pizza pie is almost half gone already. However, there are still some meat lovers slices in the box, so I can't complain here the way I was complaining before. Aside from those, the main trophies you have to work towards while completing the game are on screen now. And they have to do with the bonus objectives found in every level. The big trophy asks you to complete 30 out of the 48 total you can collect. Every level has 3 available bonus objectives you can complete, and they range from completing a level under a certain time limit, beating a certain number of enemies, finding a certain amount of hidden items, and so on. They will be different per level, and since you only need 30 of them, you get to pick and choose which ones you want to complete. Plus, you don't have to complete all 3 at one time, so you can do one of the bonuses, exit the level, and come back later to focus on the other ones. Some of these optional objectives will be more difficult than others, so do the ones that will feel more obtainable. I gave this trophy run a 2 out of 10, so don't stress too much. I never found myself worrying I won't get enough of these bonus objectives done, so neither should you. Once you have the 30 bonus objectives trophy done, head over to the bonus materials section of the main menu, and you can get the View My Secrets trophy after you unlock and view the Making of bonus video and check out the Unit Viewer section. You'll need 30 bonus objectives complete, so that's perfect. It just works. Just take a break and explore the bonus material and get a trophy out of it. The main thing that you're going to be doing in this game is riding a sweet variety of vehicles of all kinds, shooting a variety of enemies of all kinds. It doesn't matter if you're a droid, Nuknog, Devlik, heck, I'll shoot Gungans if they get in my way. They better not. I'm trying to get the Numbers of War trophy, and that requires me shooting down 300 enemies while piloting vehicles. Considering just how many enemies end up getting in your face across the 16 missions, you will get this trophy quick. Like the 3rd or 4th mission quick. This experience just bombards you with foes, and that's the way I like it, and you are well equipped to handle it. The Galactic Ass Whipping is handed out in 4 different Republic vehicles, and using all 4 gets you the Reliable War Machine trophy. Those vehicles are the Republic Tank, Republic Gunship, a speeder bike which is always fun, and a vehicle called a Maru. By Chapter 9, you should get the trophy automatically. We also steal some vehicles from the enemy and pilot them for a trophy. It may be different, but it gets the job done. Is a hell of a long trophy name, and it's for getting in 2 different separatist vehicles, which are the STAP and a freaking AAT, which is an awesome moment in the game. Both are piloted by Anakin, so you'll get this trophy halfway through the game. Don't stress getting all the power-ups either for the Feel the Unlimited Power trophy. You have to pick up every kind of power-up in the campaign once, but I think it's way more challenging to miss them, honestly. A lot of these power-ups will just come naturally. The power-ups you need are both types of health pickups, the ammunition pickup, the invincibility power, and the super blasters. This can be done pretty early in the game, as you'll get them pretty early in the game. Also, a few missions in, you get some backup infantry to roll into battle with you. Squad, gang. And the best part is you get to order them around and get a trophy. Answer My Call is for issuing out 25 squad commands. The first time you can do this is in Mission 6, and if you want to get the trophy out of the way, you can just mash the D buttons to get the trophy. You'll probably get it naturally unless you're forgetting to take control of your team and using the commands, so maybe just do it anyways and get it out of the way. Then you have 2 on-foot trophies. The Elder is for defeating 100 enemies as Mace Windu when he is on foot with his sick purple lightsaber. That's the most regal color for all the lightsabers. I love it. Even though the game isn't really focused on the hand-to-hand fighting, Mace Windu still has quite a few sections where he'll stretch his legs. I played through the first mission and then replayed it again to get some bonus objectives, and I got the trophy. If you just normally play through the story, you'll probably get it naturally. The Anakin combat sections are the ones where it's fewer and far in between. And of course, the Chosen One is awarded for defeating 100 enemies as Anakin on foot. I can only really remember 2 parts where you play as Annie himself, and that's the parts with the trapped Wookiees and a base infiltration. So after I finished the story and rolled credits, I had to load up the Wookiee section so I could grind out the rest of the kills. Maybe it added 15 or 20 more minutes tops to my platinum time, but that's hardly a problem. Once that trophy pops, that's it. It's already over. I wasn't kidding when I said I beat this in one evening. It's short, but a good one. So if you have mounted your offensive against Count Dooku and his army, piloted some iconic prequel era vehicles, did some cool Jedi stuff like using the Force and throwing your lightsaber, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You are awarded the Clone Wars Veteran Platinum Trophy for Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Overall, this is a pretty good platinum run, as it goes by fast and gives you a small burst of fun. The trophy selection is a pretty good one. Like, getting all the bonus objectives probably wouldn't make this run better, and they chose the right amount of everything for these trophies to enjoy the experience without overstaying its welcome. I would say go check out the Battlefront collection to get more pandemic Star Wars goodness, but they fucked that up, so maybe we have to wait until they fix it. I'm not sure if they'll release a PS2 Classics version of those games or not, but at least they did a good job here with the Clone Wars. And I hope they keep adding trophy support to these Disney games, because there are already a lot of them released that could really use them. They released Lego Star Wars 2 recently, and no trophies, which sucks. But hopefully they'll get them retroactively. Enjoy this one for now. And there you have it. That is the Platinum experience for 15 classic PlayStation retro games. Now go out and see if you can grab all of these Platinum trophies and make your trophy papa proud. You all have the knowledge and the tools to fill your trophy case to the brim. I can tell you I am very passionate about PlayStation's history, and I want to enlighten people about these games, especially the people who weren't gamers during those eras when some of these games came out. Thankfully, with a service like PS Plus and PSN, it's not too late to enjoy some of these classics, and they are priced very well if you want to buy them piecemeal. If I had to pick the best 5 Platinum experiences in this video, not the quality of the game, but how good the Platinum run is, well, it's number 5, Pursuit Force, number 4, Super Stardust Portable, number 3, Toy Story 2, number 2, Jumping Flash, and number 1, Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, the PS2 version. There are obviously way more games than just 15, and I know by now some of the viewers are yelling out their favorite games that I didn't cover. Well, you have a chance to shout them out in the comments section, and we can plan to do a part 2 video with even more games on it. There will even be more PS2 classics released by then. Maybe we do 20 games for the next video. Shout them out and I will keep note of them and include them in the part 2 video one day. If you like this video, make sure to tell me by hitting the like button, commenting, or even sharing it with a buddy. Of course, subscribe to the Platinum Experience for more videos like this. I hope all your retro trophy hunting expeditions go incredibly well, and peace out.